Dave. Everyone, hopefully you can hear us. We're all coming from OQL HQ, which is my dining room, and I think Aidan's living room. And Lewis looks like he's in his kitchen, so he's helping us out tonight. Welcome to the draw for week 1 of Pop Culture Challenge, formerly known as the Lowbrow Mere, but we have changed the name. So this is technically the 2nd season, and all ranking points will carry on. Made a few slight amendments to the rules. Those of you who played in Highbrow and Mere will probably be familiar with all of those changes, but we'll quickly run through them now. First one is it's no longer 5 points for win, it's 4 points for win. We decided the win was, getting 5 points for win was just too dominant. We've slightly changed the weeks. There's 9 weeks of the competition. Week 1 is the only one where you're going to be seeded. So each week tonight is going to, each game drawn tonight is going to have 1 seed, 3 non-seeds, and that will be the match. The next 2 weeks, you'll play people in your half of the leaderboard. So remember, it's 4 points to win, 3 for a second, 2 for a third, 1 for a fourth. And then from weeks 4 to 6, you'll play people in your quarter of the draw. And then we go straight into the knockout stages, which is 18 tiers of 16 players and 1 tier of 24 players, which anyone who ends up in that will explain. It won't be very different to everything else, and we'll have a specific finish in place for everybody. There's a couple of slight changes to rules on missing games. I won't bore you all with that now. All the rules are up on the Pop Culture Challenge website. So that's the boring stuff. Lewis, thank you for joining us. You came you came 3rd last season.
I did.
How did you do this time?
I'm hoping just to get in tier 1. That's my only aim. Obviously, am I right in thinking that the reigning champ has chosen not to defend his title?
That's correct, yes.
That's a shame. I'll miss Ian and the 3 times that I lost to him in, 7 games last year. But I'm going to take the opportunity, hopefully finish on my 3rd place finish. But yeah, absolutely loved last season. I mean, it was the first thing that I ever did as a solo quizzer after coming out of my 1st season, just doing regular OQL, and loved it. I think it's such a good competition. Such good questions. I think it's a really good place to start. I know there's going to be a lot of first-time competitive quizzes in this draw, and I don't think they've chosen a better competition for it. I think it's going to be really fun, and yeah, I'm just looking to have a good time.
Okay, well, that's great. Aidan, do you want to tell us a bit about some of our exciting new players who Lewis may have mentioned? There's one name that really sticks out there at number 190.
Yeah, there is a few new names. So the first one that I think most people's attention has been caught by is the Beast, Mark Levette, has entered. Big name from the chase. So
Very
we're
exciting.
4 chasers this series. We have Levette, we have Jenny Ryan, we have Paul Sinner, and we have Dara Ennis. But we've got a number of big new names. We've got Yogesh Trout, who is probably one of the 10 best quizzers in the world, probably the best film quizzer in the world, playing from America.
I don't think there's a doubt on that. The man is absolutely incredible when it comes to his film. I played him in the tier 3 final of the Pop Solos, the US version of this competition, and it was just never going to happen with him in there. He's incredibly strong, and I have no doubt he'll do brilliant in this competition as well.
Yeah. We have Greg Peterson over from America as well, another made the final of Bockel 2. He's someone who's very good and has a good grounding in British culture, so he'll be strong. Susanna Brooks is another seeded American, former winner of the entertainment round in the World Quiz Championship, so she'll be strong on areas like music and TV. And then from Britain, we've got a few other big-time new names. Peter Edis, who is probably a top 10 player in the UK overall, maybe skews slightly highbrow, but he's still really strong. Hugh Bennett, who is one of the best sport quizzers in the world, one of the best quizzers in the UK, he's in for the first time. So we've got a lot of new, interesting names.
Julia Hobbs is a name that jumps out at me as well. She's one of the key writers on The Chase. Really a superb lowbrow quizzer. I think she came second to Beth in the Make Me an Egghead as well. So she's going to be one of the big British new names for this season, and she has gone straight in as a seed, which is understandable based on her record.
Talking about Egghead, Frankie Franco's also in for the first time. Only Connect champion, Mastermind finalist last time, and I think she made the semis of that series of Make Me an Egghead. So that's another big name into the draw. And also we've got a few non-British and American quizzes. We've got Tor Helix Van Dahl, who is probably the second greatest quizzer out of Norway behind Thomas Kollesater. We've also got Edson Kisgaard, who's probably in the top 5 Norwegian quizzers, and Vincent Rousset, who's probably the second best player in France. So a few big names from the continent.
Great. So we are going truly global, or at least continental anyway. So that's great. Well, I think it might be time to get the ball started. So Will's going to be drawing the numbers out. I'll read out the names and the players, and then we'll hand over to Aidan and Lewis for a bit of analysis, and I'll chip in with what little bits I know. Okay, let's have a look. Who is the first name out the hat? Okay, so the first number drawn tonight is number 75. What's going on? Sorry, that is Dave McBrien, well known to everybody, I'm sure, one of the key writers in the Connections League. Then drawn with 272, Sean Drury. Number 37, Bonnie Shampoo. And number 121 is George Boras. Oh, that's a tough start.
Strong. Very strong.
It's Dave McBride. So Dave McBride was a tier 1 player last time. He's the standout name. But George Boras, he was probably about 82nd on the sort of where we were seeding. So there's 78 seeds. He was really strong on own questions last time and was just outside the seeding. So he's got the potential, I think, to cause Dave problems on the right set. Sean's a newcomer, plays in the highbrow. Can't say I know a ton about him. Bonnie's captain of a team in OQL UK. Very enthusiastic young player.
Right. Yeah, well, Dave made tier 1 last season, so you can't really get much better than that, as you know. So that's a tough draw for the others there. Let's have game number 2. So the seed there, number 220, is Nick Hutchins. 264 is Sarah Blair, it's a new name to me. 188 is Mark Davis. And number 10, Alex Overhill. Surprised to see Alex have a seed there. And Mark's also got a very strong player.
Yeah, so Nick's another player who made tier 1 last time. So we've got 2 tier 1. Alex Overhill has a Bockel trophy on his mantelpiece, so he's a very strong player. Mark Davis, I'm playing him as well tomorrow, so I'm not going to say too much about it. And as you say, Sarah Blair's a new name on me. Fancy there could be an upset there, Lewis?
Maybe I do. Nick is very strong when I've played with Nick, particularly sort of pop music. I've seen him pull some absolutely beautiful answers. So I wouldn't be surprised, but certainly there's some unknowns for me in that group. But it should be interesting. I fancy Nick to take it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have game number 3. Just to say, I did actually have an eye test today, and my eyes have deteriorated, but I don't have my new glasses yet. So apologies if I do call any numbers wrong. So that one is 44, which is Charlie Rowlands. 13, Amanda Haggart. 227, Nitish Kadaya. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. My pronunciation is poor, as we know. And 49 is Chris Beattie.
Firstly, it's all about we talk about OQL going global. Nitish, I think, is playing for the United Arab Emirates. Wow. So that's sort of a bit off the continent. Charlie's a seat there. Charlie's really good. He's improving at a rapid rate. He plays for Winning from Home, I think.
Yeah, has done since day 1. Yeah.
Really good too. Amanda, I think, was one of the finds of the first season. She found us through Dara Ennis' Twitter account, who a lot of people end up finding us from there. And she made tier 5, I think.
Yeah, tier 5. She came about 9th, I think, just missed out on the semi-final place.
Yeah. And Chris Beaton's a teacher, so I have to say nice things about him. So,
yeah.
I think that's the first heat that I would say probably is a bit of a toss-up. I don't know much about Nitish, but I think the other 3 will all be quite compared with each other.
Yeah, I'd like to see Amanda doing well. She's a young student. It's great to see people, the younger players, really interested in quizzing. As Lewis, I'm sure you've experienced at Sheffield.
Definitely, but it's big for us. It's something that we're trying to push here as part of the quiz sock. But anyone from any university, any students, any young people, we know that quizzing skews slightly older, maybe. So getting that young blood through, particularly with it being online, is again why competition like this is perfect. But yeah, the more I'm hoping for great things from other young players this season.
Well, that's great. Okay, next game, please, Will. So we have number 187. That's Marion Fairthorne, who was our 312th entrant into the competition. Number 91 is Dom Belcher. 254, Rob Cumming. And 251 is Richard Jones. So I don't know much about those. Well, Dom Bell. Oh, I've misread one. Sorry, this is the glasses issue. 214 is Mikey Livingstone. Rob Cumming, you'll be coming out later again. Sorry, my eyesight has deteriorated from last time, so I may make mistakes.
Yeah. So Marianne was a mastermind champion. I think she would say she skews slightly highbrow, but she's just really, really good in general. Wouldn't surprise me if she made one of the higher tiers. Mikey Livingston played last time. He did well. I think that's Michael Carwin Livingston last time.
It is, yes. Sorry, yes.
I think he's quite decent at areas like pop music and lifestyle sort of areas. Dom, I know, is the part of the Hollywood Upstairs Medical College Southampton Uni team, who are very good. Richard, new name on me, can't offer much on that one.
Always great to see a Jones in there.
Yeah, I think Marianne and Dom will probably be fighting that one out, but I just say we don't know much about Richard, so it could surprise everybody. Michael made tier 9 last season, so definitely some ability there. Can we have the next game, please? I've just got a message saying blind Stitcher, the highlight of the draw so far. My eyesight has deteriorated. I have proof of that. I have a receipt in the living room. 221 is Nick Reed. 269 is, 269 is Shane Lawler. 31 is Ben Rothenberg. And 192 is, Martin Webb. Well, Martin Webb, not a seed. That surprises me. He won a tier last time, but I think it was quite a low one, if I remember. Yeah, tier 11.
I would say Ben Rothenberg may be the person who has the most Twitter followers outside the Chasers, because Ben Rothenberg is one of the main tennis journalists in the world.
Yes.
If there's a tennis quad comes up, he'd be all over it, and he needs to probably hope it doesn't come up the week Martin Webb is playing. Martin Webb is all over everything.
He's the king of sport, as he will tell you, and yeah, some of the stuff he knows is terrifying, frankly.
It really is. And those two playing each other is probably a good draw for Nick Reed, who is incredibly good on pop music. So playing to Sport Bus may suit Nick. Shane again, sorry Shane, new name on me, but we'll endeavour to find out more as we go along about the new names, so we could big you up in future weeks with facts about your Twitter account and being a tennis.
Okay, next game, please. I like that Aidan keeps his hands in view even when we're just doing the draw.
Be prepared. Start early with it.
250 then is Richard Edwards. 66 is Daniel Cohen, another name from America. 69, posted on the Facebook group. He was very pleased to get this number.
He was very pleased.
Yeah, he must be a Bryan Adams fan. Obviously, summer of 69. That's Danny Lardner. I've been petitioning for many Bryan Adams quads. I don't think I've been allowed any. And 242 was on my series of Only Connect, Pete Sorrell Cameron.
So yeah, I'll offer on Richard Edwards, because Richard made tier 2 last time as a non-seed. Is really, really good on film. He's David Edwards' son, and David Edwards is really good at quizzes. He has £1 million to prove that.
Well, he had. It was a long time ago now.
Maybe he put it in the bank. We don't know.
When I read a game for David in Bockle, he has the most impressive bookcase of any quizzer, and that is some triumph.
Yes, I've seen that. It was really really strong.
It's quite because then I'll let Lewis talk about Danny and John talk about Pete.
Yeah, Danny, obviously part of what previously on one of these draws was referred to as the Sheffield Quiz Factory, which is now the name of our group chat. But Danny is superb. I rate him brilliantly for his age. He was 21 on Tuesday, I think.
Happy birthday, Danny.
He was very drunk. He missed his 7 a.m. in his well game. Unsurprisingly, I think he went to bed at 6 a.m. But he's really good. Particularly, we've been playing in the Quiz Bowl League, and he's been very, very good at that. Some of the stuff he knows, particularly on literature sort of stuff, is good, and that obviously will cross over in some weeks into what's pop culture. When it comes to the older pop culture stuff, he's definitely learning. You know, he's sucking it all up as he goes, and every week, you know, all the practices we do as a group, I see him getting stronger and stronger. I think this is going to be a really good competition for him.
Pete, as I say, he was on my Only Connect series, part of the string section that won that, part of the, I can't remember what team name they used when they won Very Hard Questions. He's also an absolutely lovely guy, so I'll be cheering for Pete there, I'm afraid. But that's a nice heat to play, and they're all really nice people. And let's have game 7. Okay, so the seed here is number 55, which is Chris Yates. 62, Dan Burgess, I think another one of our American names. 90 is Diane, I think it's pronounced Popel, but it could be Popple, so again, apologies if I get that wrong. Which is the number 69, now we've got number 169, which is Julie Hawes.
Yeah, so Diane Popel was one of the non-seeds that I sort of picked out as I think could cause some problems. She made the final of Bockle 3 and ran into Liam McCarthy, I think, in about 13 of his own. Otherwise, she'd have had a pretty good chance of winning that. And some of her answers on entertainment were really impressive. Chris Yates made tier 3 last time, I'm right in saying. He's strong on all areas of lowbrow. He does the play test for us. Yeah. He's a really good player. Julie Hawes is someone who won a lot of money off Anne Hegarty as a solo player on the Chase. And she started playing the league this year. She's lovely. And Dan Burgess, I know less about, but again, another one of our Americans.
Yeah, I think if you're an American taking on the UK Pop Culture Challenge, you've got to fancy yourself, I think.
Was Dan tier 1 in the last series of Pop Solos? I think he might have been.
Wow, well
we're tier 1 final. I think it's him. He read a couple of games for me. Very lovely man, very good reader. And yes, I was in the vocal tier 3 and was beaten by Diane in my semi-final. She's extremely good.
Okay, great. Sounds like a tough heat then we've got there. But we'll take game 8, please, Will. So first number out of the hat there is 54, which is Chris Harrison. There seems to be a lot of Chris's as seeds. 5 Chris's are seeded. There's only 8 in the competition. Is that 135? That's Ian Aitkenhead, one of the Connections hosts, one of them often reads the OQL Cup finals as well. Number 30, Bastian Fisher, who I believe is another American player. And 266 is Scott Dalglish, who I'd like to say congratulations as he recently got married.
Oh,
yes, so Chris Harrison, he's a music expert. He made tier 4 last time. Ian Aitkenhead is an incredibly good reader.
The best, I think. He's absolutely super. Him on the Connections League, I think, safest pair of hands around.
He is incredible. Bastian is in Germany.
Oh, sorry, Bastian. I do apologise.
So another continental player. And yeah, happy nuptials to Scott Dalglish.
Yeah,
that will be a good heat.
Chris Harrison's from Nemesis, I think, in Division 6 in OQL, but I think he's their star player. So who knows?
I think of Chris as a great commenter on the group. He's one of the people that really makes it feel like, you know, a real great community. So big fan of him.
That's nice. Okay, and we'll take game 9. So seed there is 181. That is Lawrence Cook, well known to most of us, I'm sure. Number 57, Clarissa Ducci, who is from GS Heroes. 207 is Michael Coyne. And 32 is Ben Spicer. Quick note on Clarissa is that we've got Phil Burrows on the writing team this season, and Clarissa and Philip are an item. So I hope that's... Luckily, we trust Philip enough there.
They actually just moved in together. So
that's nice.
Philip had sent me a picture of his apartment, which had no furniture, had nothing of really any note other than old quiz papers on the floor. So, yeah, Ben Spicer was another big find in season 1. I think he now plays for Hoovians, where he's probably their strongest player now.
Yeah.
And he probably was the last person off being seeded here. He did a degree in film, and if Yogesh is the best in the world, Ben might be the best in the UK on film. What he doesn't know about it is there isn't worth knowing. Lawrence Cook is one of the mangoes who
Yeah.
really ran.
They're third or fourth in Division 1 in OQL this season. They're a great team. And Lawrence does very well in every quiz he does, and he's a lovely guy as well. Do we know much about Michael? I don't recognise the name, I'm afraid.
No, apologies, Michael.
It could be a debut player. If you have played before, I am very sorry. Oh no, played last season and finished in Tier 6 actually. So that's yeah, came 5th in Tier 6 last season. So Michael's actually that's going to be a tough heat then. I think Michael, Lawrence, and Ben gonna make that very hard work. Yeah, sorry about that, Michael. You've slipped under our radar there, but won't happen again, I assure you. We'll have, in fact, Tier 6 was won by Paul Senna, so he was probably quite unlucky. Next game, 289 is one of our American seeds, Susanna Brooks. 125, another American, Grant DeYoung. 306, Vincent Rousset from France, and 281 is Steve Dobson, who is a student, I believe. Well, he did very well on University Challenge recently.
Great.
Not sure, Steve. I think Steve Dobson played for Ippi Dim Jaws. I think you might be confused.
Steve Barnes, sorry, yes, I am. Yeah, sorry, Steve.
Different Steve needs.
International heat. Susanna, like I said, brilliant on entertainment, strong.
Amazing quizzer.
Track record in the World Championship. One of that Lovecraft in the time of Cholera Machine that steamrolled through OQL UK. Vanson is also normally top 100 in the world. Don't know much about Grant Lewis. Do you?
I don't. I've seen the name around. It's a name I associate with being good in the numbers I've seen. But
I think it's more of a quiz bowler as Grant from memory, but I might be wrong there. If I'm right, didn't Susanna start the trend of knitting whilst quizzing to keep your hands in view?
It's her. Yeah, she's very good at that. I always find it fascinating, quite hypnotic. When I played, I think our team played last season, maybe in the cup and in the league. We played Lovecraft, and just someone just sitting there. But I mean, it lulls you into a false sense of security. Superb player. I mean, lovely person, lovely team. All those guys are great. Those Americans. For a team that are so good, they're lovely people.
Yeah, I think having two Americans in the same heat isn't going to help them though. If there is anything American coming up this week, they're gonna split the points rather than have the chance to dominate. So, but I still think you'd expect it to be between those two. But there's very good quizzes in all sections of that one. So who knows?
But Steve may get if there's any real brick-centric quads, that may be a real leg in for Steve there.
Yeah. Right, we'll have game 11. So the seed there is number 107, which is a Tier 1 player from last season, Emma Laslett. 204, Matthew Nail. 111 should be someone called Nelson, but it's not. It's Fiona McDougall from the Wirral Quiz League. And 149 is another one of our American quizzes, Jennifer. I think it's second or Seconde. Lovely looking name anyway, Seconde. So that's a really nice seat. Fiona was recently on The Chase, and her and Mark discussed the online quiz league, and we had an influx of new players thanks to her. So we are forever in Fiona's debt, and as she's a Wirral player, I will always cheer for her. I'll let the rest of you comment.
I think Lewis played Emma
played Emma twice last season. I think came third to her, and she was in second, Ian in first in maybe week 3. And then I think it was pretty much a rematch between the three of us in our semi-final, and I managed to get the better of Emma that time. But I think it's the only time I've ever beaten Emma. She is incredible quizzer. We've played DO, the Dionysus Appreciation Society, in the normal quiz league quite a few times. We played a few friends against them on off weeks, and lovely bunch. And Emma, there's nothing that Emma doesn't know really, as far as I'm concerned. Every time just something arcane and bizarre comes up, and she's just like, got it every time.
Well, Fiona was 4th, and she made the Tier 8 final last time, which was great. Matthew plays in the league. I can't remember what team offhand. I am sorry.
Borgon conclusion. He's one of Robert Crawley's.
Oh right, okay. They nearly won the league this year. Much improved side. So they'll go. I say Jennifer coming over from America for this. If there's American content, could fall nicely into her favour there. And that'll be a lovely heat to read for whoever gets that one, I'm sure. Right, well, game 12. So seed here is 117, which is Gareth Kingston from All Things Quiz. If you've never listened to that podcast YouTube channel, then you really should. 293, a new name for me, is Thomas Langdon. 224, another one of our Americans, and a connections host is Nicole Noilis, recently on Jeopardy as well. And number 4, and I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong, is Afham Roof, maybe. Again, sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly.
I don't know. That has potential, I think, to be an interesting heat. Gareth, historically very good on lowbrow. Didn't do as well as he'd hoped last time. And Afam is someone who is improving a lot and has the potential to cause problems there. Nicole, I know they've done well in pop solos, so they'll have a good chance here. Thomas, I think, is one of the Bristol uni ones. I think if you're not Thomas, I apologise, but Bristol is the one.
Yeah, I think that sounds familiar now. Yeah, Nicole should have an encyclopedia horse racing knowledge, but possibly only American horse racing. I don't know how much they know about the UK racing circuit. But
I played Nicole in the last series of pop solos, and they were amazing. Yeah, really, really strong. I think they didn't make it through. Maybe it was a knockout match, but very unlucky. So I think I beat Nicole actually on a tie break in the end. Extraordinary player, loads of knowledge, and yeah, on Jeopardy recently, I saw the Americans were very enthused about seeing Nicole on there.
Yeah, should be a great game, that one.
Yeah.
And on to unlucky game number 13. So the seed for this one is number 141. That's Jack Lewis. Then we've got number 89, Diane Halligan, who everybody has nice things to say about. 53, Chris Granderson. The two of them were sat opposite each other at Quiz in the North last week. And number 40, from Northern Ireland, Callum McClements. That's going to be a lovely heat to read.
That is a lovely person. Just if you want to know how seriously I take this draw, if you'd like to see me 10 minutes before this, I was eating my dinner. My girlfriend has just came in with 2 naan bread I've left in the oven. What's blacker than a piece of jet? So nearly burnt my house down for the low brow. No, that's a lovely draw. Jack Lewis is a Sheffield Uni alum, isn't he?
Yeah, he is part of our crew. I probably would consider Jack my best friend that I've made through Quiz. I think we're very alike. We have very similar knowledge bases. We're on the same connections team as well. He's brilliant. I think he's very happy to be seeded. And I think he's going to smash this. I mean, that's a strong lineup. Those are all fantastic players. But I think this season overall, I think Jack's one to watch. Yeah,
I agree. But that is a really hard heat. I mean, Chris and Callum, all 3 of them have got real ability. I think Chris tends more towards highbrow, but then he's a really good sport quizzer, which I'm not sure whether the rest are. Diane definitely swings more highbrow, but you know, it's just knows so much. I was actually on a team with her at Quiz in the North. That was a great experience. If you ever get the chance to go to Quiz in the North, do so. They're great fun. Really are good. Different type of questions that you see at other quizzes, but really enjoyable days out. Yeah. We'll take game 14. So the seed there is at 168, I think. That's one of our new seeds. That's Julia Hobbs. 74 is Dave Mattingly, another American player, also a debutant, I think. 139, Ewan Pope. And 179 is Laura Kwong, one of our best music quizzes, I believe.
I think this will be quite a strong heat. I remember watching Dave Mattingly on Jeopardy a few years back, and I think he went on quite a bit of a run, won 5 or 6 episodes. So Julia Hobbs is incredible. The only danger, I think, for Julia and Laura there is they're going to rob the music off each other. So if someone has a different strength base, that maker. Ewan is one of the GNS heroes, so he's another of Philip Burrows' gang. So I think that will probably boil down to Julia versus Laura, but I think Julia, of all the newcomers, is maybe the most likely to make tier 1.
I think I'm going to cheer. Yeah, I think I'm going to cheer for Dave in this. Not many people know, but about 7 years ago, I set up kind of a precursor to the online quiz league. It just ran for 1 season. It was with people I knew from the Countdown website. And Dave played. I only set it up really to help improve my own quiz knowledge, but Dave played in it and was one of the best players, a real revelation. I've followed him since, especially when he did Jeopardy. So as much as I like everybody else in that game, I will be cheering for Dave. And we'll take game 15. So the seed here is number 114, which is Frankie Fanco. Next number is 196, Matt Prescott. 233 is, sorry, I only got a small screen. A new name for me, Apparel Amlani. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And 307 is Will Howes. At least I knew that name.
Yeah.
Not a seed, actually.
Yeah, Will, he was seeded last time and he didn't do as well as he'd hoped. Did very well on own questions, but I think kept running into tough fixtures. Frankie's a newcomer. She's brilliant. Another one who's very strong on music and entertainment areas. Parallel found us through Shanine. We all love her. And she's
the glue of the quizzing community, I feel.
She is. And Matt Prescott, I apologise, Matt. I don't know much about you, but good luck anyway. And hopefully you'll give us something to speak about next week.
Great. Okay, we'll go straight to game 16. Okay, so that's number 160. That is John Robinson, £500,000 winner. Half of 160 is 80, and that gives you David Cruikshank. Then we have number 96, Dylan Coates, and number 257, debutant for this series, really nice guy, Robin Whelan. That'd be interesting.
John Robinson made it last time, and I would possibly put that as John underperforming. I think he's good enough for tier 1 on. He's got no weak areas of lowbrow. David Cruikshank had a phenomenal tournament because he ended up runner-up in every match in the group stage. So
yeah,
he's probably one of the stronger non-seeds. Central Belters player who I think ended 4th in Division 1 last year. Yeah, Robin's really nice. He's a Leeds fan, which you can forgive people. But maybe not that. And Dylan, I will pass to Lewis on.
Yeah, Dylan, another member of the Sheffield Quiz Factory. Dylan's a passionate man. He loves quizzing. He's loved throwing himself into lots of different events lately. Very proud of the progress that he's made. I always say to him, Dylan, we're yet to find your niche. I know he's good, but we haven't found that thing where we can really make him shine yet. Maybe this will be it. Hopefully it will be. He's a phenomenal video games quizzer. And I know a lot of people are maybe not so happy with the permanent inclusion of video games this season. I, for one, am very happy about it. But I'm sure that Dylan will drop very, very little in that subject. We've run a few sort of practice mimes we've written ourselves about video games solely lately. And his knowledge on that stuff is tip top.
I think with video games, it's going to be key to get a non-video game quizzer. And if you get 3 non-video game quizzers, you've got that chance of a massive.
It's such a niche. Yeah, for sure.
Before we move on, one final note on Robin Whelan. If ever I was getting too big for myself or anything, at Quiz in the North last week, Robin was collecting the money. And when I went there, I said, can I pay please? He goes, yes, what's your name? So he didn't So that's what we're back down to earth. I'm just a normal quizzer, which is what I want to be. We'll have game 17, please, Will. Number 73 is the seed there, which is the highest placed player from last season, Dave Gregson. He came second. 56. One of everybody's favourite quizzes because of what they did on Mastermind. That is Claire Barrow. 303 from Norway is Tor Dahl. And 208 is Michael Cullen. So, Aidan, do you want to explain why everybody loves Claire Barrow so much?
Yeah, did really well on the last series of Mastermind. Won her first round using, I think it's the Book of Revelation. It's a biblical book as her first. And in the second bit, did the Russo-Japanese War, which my A-level history, I studied the Russo-Japanese War, so I found Claire's specialist subject quite interesting. And she deservedly won her semi-final against someone.
Who did she beat?
But yeah, so Mastermind semi-finals, John.
Yeah, I didn't get. Well, I was there. I was the reserve. Yeah, as we know, Dave Gregson, he's the best. Well, he came second last season. He wasn't far behind Ian. That's one of the, you wanted to avoid him. He's probably on paper one of the very best quizzes we've got in this competition.
He's fantastic. Really
yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah. And Michael Cullen, actually, he basically, his whole quizzing knowledge is lowbrow. I think he did quite well last time. He ended up, he came second in tier 9, just missed out to Mike Lees in the final. So definitely that could go anyway. I don't know how well Tor is going to do on the UK-based stuff, but I wouldn't have thought Norway gets too different to the UK.
I mean, Tor's one of the best quizzes as well, so I think this is the strongest heat, yeah. And one the joking with Claire, I will say, she's really lovely and she's really good. She does skew highbrow, she'll tell you that herself. She's incredibly strong on history and sort of culture areas, but I don't think she's going to be a fish out of water in this. Michael Cullen, the point Lewis made previously, Michael Cullen will dominate on video games if he's not got video gamers in his team. Dave Gregson will dominate on pretty much everything that isn't video games. And Tor will do incredible on international content.
And there is some of that, I believe, but we obviously can't talk about questions. Right, we'll have game 18. So the seed there is number 58, which is another mastermind champion. It's Clive Dunning. 202 is Matthew McLean. 253, Richie Hewitt. And 229 is Oliver Hansen.
Clive Dunning, he's incredible. He's up there as the best film quizzes as well. Brilliant in sport. Matthew McLean, I think I'm right in saying, is a professional stand-up comedian, which
great.
I hear there's a few good quizzes who do that job. So,
just for people who keep telling Aidan and I that we should take up stand-up based purely on the strength of these draws. We are considering it. We've been approached, but I think we'll stick to quiz organising if that's okay.
Oliver Hansen, I presume is Ollie Hansen, who
he is, yes.
For Origins. He's really good while the strong and non-fit. And Richie Hewitt's pretty good. So this is an interesting heat. If you're playing the drinking game, now time to down whatever beverage of choice.
Yeah. It's always hard to bet against Clive, being a mastermind champion, and all-round nice guy as well, always fun to hang around with. But we shall see, and we'll take game 19. Okay, so the seed here is 212, which is Mike McCarthy. 83 is David Roberts. Then we've got 118, which is 118 is Gary Knightley, who I believe is that another stand-up comedian, and 189 is Mark Aidan, who's a new name on me.
Yeah, a few names I'm not sure of here. Mike McCarthy, he's quite funny on Facebook, which is that I think. Oh, yep, I'm back. Yeah, Mike is quite funny on Facebook, which I think he would take as the greatest compliment we could give him rather than focusing on his quiz ability. Spends a lot of time dueling with Phil Small, who's doing a lot of editing for us this series. Gary Knightley played pop solos, and when I had an email from him the other day discussing this series, and he mentioned that he'd paid for the privilege to get battered in pop solos. So he's not new to pop culture. Mark Eden and David Roberts, new names on me.
Same to me, I'm afraid. So sorry, Mark, sorry, David, but you've got 9 weeks to show us who you are. And on that, we'll have game 20. Right, the seed here is number 182. 182, bit of a nobody, but he made it somehow to be a seed. Lewis Jones, name ring anything to you? Number 33 is Benedict Cook. Number 2, Addie Lewis. And number 171, Karen Alford. So you've got a Lewis Jones and an Addie Lewis in that heat.
Don't mind it.
Lewis, do you want to talk about your opposition here?
I don't know them, to be honest, John. Addie Lewis is a name I see a lot. I know that Addie gets involved with a lot of the American stuff, I believe.
Yeah, he's a Scottish quizzer, but he is really in with all the Americans, so he tends to enter the US side of OQL.
Well, I've seen that, which is lovely. Great to have the sort of unique perspective that must be from that. I know he's very well liked amongst that community, which is great. Don't know him personally, it'd be great to meet him. Benedict and Karen's name I recognise, Benedict's I don't, but hey, it's great to meet new people. It's one of my favourite things about this hobby. I look forward to this game. and I'm excited for this season.
So, John, who are you backing to win that heat?
Probably Karen, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's any challenge for her in that heat. No, I'd expect Lewis to win. He came third last season. But it all depends on the kind of subject that comes up. They're all UK based, but Addy Lewis's strengths lie in the US side of things. So who knows what's going to come up and how we'll do. So
I mean, Lewis was making tier 3 of the pop solos, which was very American based, as I will.
Yeah, I'm very much hoping that for the very strong American quizzes that have joined the Pop Culture Challenge, that there's going to be some of those weeks that we had in the pop solos where there was no way for you to know about a specific brand of porcelain models that are advertised only on telly or
US sports show hosts.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of because it's really interesting to me because that's the sort of stuff when those quizzes came up, those questions came up in the American ones. I was like, I don't think there's any way for me to know this. I love that it's here, and I know that people will know it, but I can't think of what those questions are necessarily for our league. So I'm looking forward to seeing those things pop up, the stuff that really stumps the Americans.
I think things like J.R. Hartley would possibly.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Yeah, it means nothing to Americans, I'm afraid. One day, we'll see. Right, we'll take game 21 though on that note. Where do we go fly fishing? So number 152 is, everyone's going to want to be in this seat. It's one of the stars of last season and one of the stars of UK TV. It's Jenny Ryan from The Chase. Number 99, one of the nicest people in quiz. And if you ever want to know anything about guinea pigs, go to Mr. Aidan K. Number 15 is Andreas Kroll. I'm not sure where he is from. I do apologise. And 112 is captain of the Pink Legs team, who are changing themselves to a wrestling name of Legion of Zoom. That is Francis Boyle.
Yeah, so Jenny will start, I think, is quite a big favourite there. She was brilliant in season 1. I think Jen did third on the leaderboard, like the league table originally, and is just strong on all areas of lowbrow. Andreas is in Switzerland.
Right.
We've had a few Swiss players sort of play.
Yeah, Rajan and Prakar Gupta, yeah.
Andreas is pretty good at World Championship sort of stuff. He's normally top 250. Francis, I watched a game of his and he was very impressive on sport. I thought if there's a tough sports squad, he may be in there. And Aidan has a mantelpiece that is expanding because he's won the cup. He won Division 6 last year, 7 last year, and he might win the cup again. So
they're in the semi-finals, yeah.
Aidan is the trophy hoarder. He is dictating Ian Orris to expand his trophy cabinet.
Yeah, it should be a good heat, that one. You've got to fancy Jenny for that one, though, but I think you'd say that whichever heat she was in, she finished overall, she came, I think, 9th or 10th last season, just lost out in her quarter final.
I think she was unlucky in that game as well, from what I recall hearing about it. I think Jenny has to go in for one of the favourites for this competition. This is her area. She knows her stuff. She's the best. I can't see anyone winning that one but her.
No. Okay, and game 22. Okay, so our seeded number here is number 129. That is Harry Heath from Scratch of the Day. 235 is, sorry everyone, I have to scroll occasionally. 235, new name for me, Paul Dunn. And then 203 is Matthew Machine Gun McStay. Is it Matthew McStay with the machine gun? Yeah, and number 39 is Caitlin McCulloch, who is part of the Connections League in Dalriada and also plays OQL2.
Yeah. Harry Heath's the Masters finalist last year. It is really, really, really strong on entertainment, film, TV, music sort of areas. Matthew McStay started last season with a 0 out of 15 on his own, and I think ended up winning games by the end. I think he's currently a student at the UEA, so he's in the finest city in the world. So the Norwich air is rubbing off on him with that improvement. Paul, a new one on me. Caitlin, as you say, she's playing in the league now and in the Connections League, and she's done well on Beat the Chasers as well, I think.
Yeah, she was very good on Beat the Chasers, if I remember. She was wearing a really nice, like, rainbow-coloured jumper. I think, was that her? Yeah, she was really, really, really good.
Yeah, she's really friendly, and we always like people like that. Okay. Something's happening here.
Bam.
I'd say talk amongst yourselves, but here we are, we're back. Okay, so can we have game 23, please, Will? Right, okay. So we're just having a brief interlude here as number 248 was taking its time to come out the draw. That is Richard Appleyard. 131 is Harshit Sahe. 292 is Thomas Gibson. And 101 is Eleanor Ayres, a big winner on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or a Millionaire.
I didn't know quite me. Richard Appleyard is he plays for Lions of the Isles.
That's right, yeah, he's their captain, yeah.
Yeah, very good on sport, played well last time, had very good on questions, made tier 5 or 6. Tom Gibson made me 7, he's a mastermind. I think he was about tier 7 this last time. Eleanor is brilliant, terrific on TV, film, lifestyle sort of areas. Harshit, Indian quizzer, so maybe some of the British stuff might be a bit of a struggle, but he is also quite good on film.
Yeah, I think Eleanor's a tough player to be in the second seed. And I seem to recall that Eleanor got harsh draws every week last time. So hopefully she can get some results this time, but she'll have a hard time in that heat, I think. Right, game 24, please. So we start with number 138, which is Ian Vellante. Number 290 is Theo Howe. 246 is, and we're talking to Beat the Chasers, that is one of the most unlucky people on there, Raheen Dina. And number 27 is an American, or maybe Canadian, Armand Sanchez.
Yes, Indian is one of the central belters. He made tier 3 or 4 last time. He's very good sports or music areas. Theo is our tech man Will's tip for the non-seed to watch. Will thought Theo should have been seeded, so it'll be interesting to see how Theo does. As you say, Raheem did very well on Beat the Chasers and was very
unlucky.
So unlucky.
Represents the Seychelles, so he could go in a pair with John for quizzes that represent
island nations, we'll say, before you offend my family.
And Armand reads a lot for OQL USA. I think he's based in LA or certainly in California.
Yeah, should be a good game. I think that's hard to pick actually between Ian. That should be a tough one for Ian. He won't be too pleased with that draw, but yeah, Ian was in my Mimirs Wells game recently. He was very unlucky that I just had a seat that suited me.
He's a great player, always impressed by Ian's knowledge, always. And Raheem is one of the nicest people that I've met in quiz. Come up against him in a few quiz bowl things. Red game for his team in the QB League last week. Always great guy, always good fun, very nice. And yeah, so unlucky on that episode Beat the Chasers, but so young, he's got a great quiz career ahead of him if he wants it.
Yeah. We'll take game 25. So we start with number 256. I'll see the play here is Rob Jones. 286 is Stephen Neville, captain of the Outsiders, I believe. 291, surprising not see, maybe better at highbrow, is Thomas de Bock. And 45, Charlotte Orber, a really good player, part of the Cosmopolitans team in the Connections League.
Thomas de Bock, he's a very strong player. I think on the more modern and international side, he's going to cause danger. He will know different things, I think, to Rob Jones, who made tier 2 last time and will be very strong with British stuff. And I think Stephen and Charlotte will throw that in a lot of good answers to us. I think that's a very close game. John, I just had a message from my brother saying, out of context quotes of the day is your quote that Norway isn't much different to the UK.
I've only been to Norway once. It was quite snowy, and England isn't, so it probably is quite different. I did go skiing though, so I would expect it to be snowy where I went. We'll have to see question 26. We game 26 before I embarrass myself further. Right, seed 298 is Tom Mead. 133, Henry Woolhouse. 309 is Will Vince. And 109, a name well known to you, Lewis, I believe, Ethan Moss.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll this one to Lewis because I think there's quite a strong Sheffield vibe here. I think
definitely, yeah, that's extremely strong. That's really good to see. Yeah. I mean, Ethan. How do you describe Ethan? I don't know if there's words for it. He's one of the most frustrating people I've ever met in my life. What does Ethan know? I couldn't tell you. He will often tell you that he was homeschooled, which is why he doesn't know basic science things. But when it comes to pop culture, one of the best hip hop and rap quizzes that I know out there. Every time that stuff comes up in our QB League games, he's hot on the buzzer. He gets him in early. Very, very impressive. Henry is also part of our extended quiz family. He's part of the Futa team fed onto the Axelins, which is our second team, Danny and Dylan's team that were in the most recent we won the rookie leagues at the most recent series. And Danny and Dylan rave about him, say he's excellent. And yeah, Tom Mead, obviously, is a Sheffield area quizman who really flies the flag for the area. Great guy. When I did my interviews for a piece that I did for my uni work at the end of last year, he was the first person I spoke to, and really, the passion that he's got for it, and always on Facebook, he's talking about the music that he loves. He's going to be a superb. Any music stuff comes up, he'll be brilliant. I know he listens to so much music. I think, and Will Vince, lovely guy. Also interviewed him. Really, really nice. Growing all the time as a quizzer. I think that's going to be a lovely match to read for.
Yeah, Will Vince's team drew with Aidan's team in the Connections League this week.
But I'm not playing, so
yeah, but they'd have probably won if you were. That should be a really good game. Hard to pick a winner, even though Tom made tier 2 last time. I think he's going to have his work cut out with all 3 of those.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay, we'll take game 27 then. So seeded player 240 is Peter Ramsey. 14 is Amy Goodell, a 15-1 legend, plays in loads of our leagues, which is always great. 174, Kelly Richards, organises the handicap for the OQL League. So if you've got any problems with it, take it up with him. And number 25 is Anthony J, who I believe debuted in this competition earlier in the season.
Yeah, this is possibly the strongest team so far. Peter Ramsey is very good in QLL and is possibly, along with Simon Trainer, number 1 and 2 on the best football quizzes in the country. Phenomenally good on football. Amy Goodell was phenomenally good at everything, was a childhood crush of John. But yeah, very, very strong. Unlucky not to be seeded, as was Kelly, who is possibly the best on music in the UK.
Yeah, his Facebook feed, if you're friends with him, he lists every gig he's been to and numbers them, and he's reached over 1,000 different gigs, which is just incredible. And complete range of musical styles as well. Most of them I've not heard of, but yeah, that's going to be a really tough heat for all 4 players, I think.
And even level 7 music was Kelly will smash it.
Yeah. But I mean, Anthony J was tier 5 last time.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry everybody. I think that is the biggest one we've drawn so far. Yeah. And on that, we'll take game 28. So the seed here, 294 is Tim Hall. 275 is Simon McGovern, a late sign up. 130 is Harry Shaw. And number 60, Lewis, you'll be commenting on this heat because that is Daisy Fry.
Yeah, I'll say that Tim was tier 1 last time. Tim is rapidly improving. Bockel semi-finalist, I think been only Connect semi-finalist. Tier 1 of this, he's incredibly well-rounded and a good player. Best player on Scatterbrains, who were promoted again from Division 2 this year. And I'll pass to Lewis.
Daisy is brilliant. This is going to be her first competition as a solo player, and I'm just sorry that it took this long to get her involved. She's been very busy with her MA, but we play a lot of practice quizzes, and she's always excellent. She's got a great range of knowledge, particularly obscure, weird stuff. Any musical squad that comes up, she is going to ace it. And yeah, I'm just so excited that she's finally in the competition. I think she's got a really good chance to do something, win a trophy in whatever tier she ends up in, because she's brilliant.
Yeah, Tim and Daisy have quite a few trophies between them. Tim's got now 2 Division 2 trophies plus a Connections trophy. And Daisy in her first season got a Division 4 trophy and a plate trophy. Simon McGovern, I don't know. I think he's a new sign-up, new for this season. And Harry Shaw, He played
Durham University.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, plays for what are they called now? Third Degree Vern. He's their captain, who are Division 6, I think. Somebody's just asked, has Nicola Kay been drawn? No, she hasn't been drawn as of yet. And we'll take game 29. Yeah. We don't see the chat comments, by the way, but people do tend to send me direct messages whilst it's going on, and my phone, which doesn't work, flashes. It doesn't connect to the phone line anyway, but it tells me, it still gets my Facebook messages, which is all I need. Anyway, the next game's been drawn. 190 is the seed here. This is the number you've all been waiting for. Debutant, it's Mark Lebet.
Big.
276. Stephen Curtis, one of the nicest guys in quiz, plays for Wobbs. 162 is John Roberts. And number 59, Colin Goldsborough, who has had a great first state season with us for Play Your Cards Wrong. They won the division. Did they win it? They either came first or second in the 4th rookie division. So, Mark, those are your opponents for week 1. I hope you've watched the draw. And we hope if you get the chance, you'll come on for one of the future draws as well. That would be great. Analysis on this. I think hard for anyone to read. We see anyone but Mark winning that. But
yeah, I'm so excited to see what Mark does in this competition. Yeah. We all know how good he is. We know, he is in many ways the chaser. He's the symbol of it. And yeah, I think him being in here just shows the strength of the competition that he's decided to sign up. I think it's a great thing for the competition. I think it will be very exciting when people get to play and people can really enjoy that. But yeah, I'm expecting a big trademark heavy win this first week to set his flag down, because he's going to want to win this thing, no doubt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He won't settle for anything. He'd rather he wants to win. But Colin did get a full house in OQL one week, and they're hard to come by. So he could surprise everyone there. But I still think that we're going to be looking at Mark winning that. But we shall see. And then we will take game 30. So the seed here is number 51, which is Chris Devine. 161 is one of our last 4 players to sign up, Jolion Winston. Next player, 1, 2, 3, Gilbourg. Number 7, I think that is Alan Gilmore. Sorry, I was thinking of Alan Morgan for a second, thinking, why is this player not seeded? Alan Gilmore's still very good, but Alan Morgan was the one who made the final last year. So, yeah, that's quite a tough one, though. Gilbourg playing from Canada, I believe.
Yes. Played him in a few things. Very nice man, Gilles. Got some great answers last year in the highbrow. I think I read a couple for him in the highbrow. I don't know what his lowbrow knowledge is like, but interested to see what he'll do here.
Yeah, this is the heat. I can't say I know a ton. Christopher made the seed I know the least about, but I know he beat Paul Sinner last year in a game, and he has a good reputation. I think he's good on video games. Alan Gilmore I read for last year in a couple of games, good at sport. Had a musketeer on a tennis quad in a game I read. And Jolion, I think played in either the highbrow or the lowbrow last time. I can't remember which, but I know the name.
I think he played in this, actually. Let's have a look. Oliver Winstone played. Jolion, sorry. No. So Oliver Winston never joined. Yeah, I think Chris should probably still come through there, but I'm sure the other 3 are all going to be getting some good answers in that one. But we shall see. And we'll take game 31. So the seed here is number 194, which is Matt Williams, who I think finished 2nd in the leaderboard last season. So you don't want to be playing against him. But Henry Bagridge, number 132, you are. 153 from New York or New Jersey is Jim Mudrack. And 304, another American, 2 Americans in the same game, Tucker Warner.
This is a good team.
That is good.
Matt Williams is very, very strong. He's probably the best player on Disparate Origins, or certainly one of the best for Tom Mee.
Was it Matt who came top on own questions in the heats?
Yeah, it was, yeah, and he was 2nd overall, but then he lost his semi-final. Yeah. He lost his quarter-final, so placed 9th overall.
Yeah. Henry Bagridge in the previous season as well was in the top 5 in the world on sport. So if there's any tough scores, Henry will be good on it. I know more about Jim than Tucker. I know that Jim has quite an interest in UK stuff. So and he did quite well last time. So I don't think Jim is your atypical American in this. I think some of the more British quads might not hurt him as much. Tucker, I'm sorry, I don't know.
No, I know he does play OQL USA, but I don't study it as much as I study OQL UK. But if you're an American who wants to take on the UK Pop Culture Challenge, you've got to have a bit of faith in yourself. So I suspect he's going to be quite strong. Yeah. Right, let's take game 32. Okay, number 64 is our seed here, which is from Ireland, Dan O'Malley. 110, Ewan Munro. Now, is that the Munro who's in New Zealand? I know we've got a few Munros. 259 is Roz James, and 222 is Nicola Kay. There you are. Ian Aikenhead, you're asking about Nicola Kay. She has been drawn now in this heat.
The bad thing I can give about this one is about 2 months ago on Bockle final stage we sat and watched Dan O'Malley and Ewan Monroe go down to a nearest full in Bockle 5.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Against each other, where we were working out whether we'd have to send the trophy to Ireland or New Zealand.
And it stayed here because it was meant to go to New Zealand. So it sits in my diary. So Ewan, if you're watching, you do technically own this for now, but I'm not sending it to New Zealand because I don't want a second mortgage.
Roz plays in the
Milton Keynes.
Plays for MK Wizards, and Nicola Kay plays for LGQ, I assume, if Ian Aikenhead does.
I'm not sure, actually. I see the name. I can't think of the team. So sorry, Nicola. I mean, yeah, that's going to be a great match between you and Dan, a bit of a revenge from the Vocal 5 final from just a couple of months ago. But Nicola and Roz, both great quizzers. Going to upset the apple cart there, I expect. And on that, we'll take game 33. So number seed here is 38, which is Brendan Curtis. Number 11, who has set up a Facebook account just to watch this draw, so I'm really pleased to announce. Number 11 is Alexander Hill. Number 94 is Drew Sheila, who come over from America. And 191 is Mark Ryder, also from America. So you've got two very strong American quizzers in there with Brendan and Alex. So Alex is a new name for me, but I just noticed that he joined the Facebook group, set up a Facebook account just to watch the draw. So that touched me.
Yeah, Alex found a Twitter account this time. So,
great.
He's Brendan's another newcomer. Brendan's really good. He's very, very good on sport. That would be his area. Mark Ryder's one of the best quizzers in the world. He's been top 10 in the World Championship.
Oh, wow.
But Mark Ryder, surprised to see in a UK pop culture, Mark Ryder's strengths normally lie in the sciences and that sort of area. So he's more of a highbrower. Drew is really good in pop solos.
Really good.
Sure.
Yeah, he beat me in Mimi as well a couple of weeks ago. Whilst playing in a car, but he wasn't driving. I was a bit worried at first, but no, he stayed still. And Brendan, him and his family won Britain's Brightest Family the first series and won a trip to Florida, and then the next series, the winner's got 25 grand. So bad luck, Brendan.
I played Drew in the final of Tier 3 of the last series of Pop Solos, and yeah, it was extraordinary. I mean, it was a stacked game, not including myself, but him. It was him, Yogesh, and Bob X Har. Extraordinarily good across the board. And I think all three of them have signed up for this season. So anyone who's getting one of those in this tournament is in for a pain, I think, because extraordinarily good quizzes. Yeah,
great. Well, we will start now with game 34. So our seeded player here is number 243, which is Quentin Holt. 305, Vicky Salisbury. Always good to see her name. 268 is Sean Webb. He's got a cup semi-final to look forward to on Wednesday. 195 is an American quizzer again, Matt Jones.
I played against Matt Jones in Pop Solos. He comes second, I come third, and I think there was about 10 points between us in the game. So
doesn't really tell us much, though, Aidan, other than you're rubbish.
Yeah, I'm rubbish. I got more points than you in Pop Solos, and
yeah, but I am rubbish, and I'm happy to admit that.
I don't do TV, film, or video games, which I'm entering a pop culture tournament is
an issue.
Is an issue. talking of people who don't do a lot of lowbrow, Sean Webb skews phenomenally to highbrow, but he is phenomenally good. Yeah.
He's absolutely amazing. When I did my interviews, I interviewed 25 quizzes. I think Sean was probably youngest or second youngest. And he was also the only person I spoke to who said, yeah, my plan is to one day be the best in the world. And I think he can do it. His highbrow is, as we all know, there already.
Yeah.
Lowbrow, I don't think comes as naturally to him, some areas anyway, but he's learning it. He will store it away. And 20 years time, I think, 15 years, 10 years time, Sean will be at the very, very top of those lists. But even so now, as he's growing, phenomenal, always.
Well, for a highbrow quiz, he made tier 7 last time, but then Vicky made tier 6, so that's going to be interesting. I think Matt's very good.
Matt comes from, I think Matt's a crossword guy, right? He writes crosswords. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Very, very passionate about quizzing, which I always love to see, and comes from a crossword background, which, the amount of knowledge you're going to feed through in writing those puzzles and doing those puzzles every day can only be good. And, weird words come up, particularly in American crossword puzzles, which don't come up other places, but will be obscure British things. I do the NYT crossword every day. And, those sort of places to get knowledge, I think he's going to be very, very good in this competition.
Yeah, and Quentin Arcide is a big name in QLL, isn't he?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. One of the best sport quizzes. Him and Brendan in consecutive heats, that's two are probably the 10 best sport players in the tournament.
Right, guys. Okay, game 35. Okay, 209 is Michael McPartland, Mr. TV, if you will. 103, we'll have Lewis talking on this one because that is Elliot Gray Clough. 200, Matthew Lawson, or maybe Lewson, sorry if that's pronounced wrong. And 26 is Argini Saimuli, Italian player based in the UK, though, I believe. Really fun to read, Phil.
Yeah, Michael, brilliant at film and sport. And with there being slightly less music and slightly more film and sport this time, Michael, if I was probably running a bookie odds, would be the favourite for me this time. I think that change will push him. He's brilliant at all areas of lowbrow. He's good at video games, which they won't hurt him. And he's good at the old stuff and the modern stuff equally.
Yeah.
Music is probably the one place you can get him on lowbrow. Mm-hmm. With less of that, he's going to be dangerous as anything. I think
he prides himself as being a really strong lowbrow quizzer, right? And he, I think, another person who really will be wanting to win this competition. The fact that he wasn't in the final last time, I think, was maybe a surprise.
Yeah, he came 6th last time, so he obviously lost the semi-final, which he would have been disappointed against. Was it to you?
I can't remember.
He was in the semi.
I think maybe it was maybe the other one. But talking of Elliot, Elliot is brilliant. Another bizarre man. My entire group, they're bizarre people. But absolutely love him. Great fun. Growing as a quizzer all the time. I think he's a man. A lot of people know knowledge and have knowledge, but it's getting it out there. And Elliot is doing that at a rapid pace. He's getting so much better. If you look at his stats from the first season that we were in OQL to his second, to then his third, improving all the time. His sport particularly very, very, very good. And some really bizarre areas of music that I never would have guessed that he'd be good at. He loves sort of like 50s and 60s music, which is, it does come up sort of like, he loves Lindy Hop. But if any of that comes up, he'll be excellent. He always surprises me with the stuff that he wants. I think
fortunately, all the music questions are Brian Adams because I've
of course, sorry.
I've paid for that.
Well, the summer of '69 is in the 60s in a way. We know it's not about that, but
no. We'll have game 36 before. I'm sure if anyone's taking a sweep, I will try and get as many Brian Adams references as possible. Right, 92 is Dom Tate. He was a late entry last time, wasn't he? Took a reserve spot and then ended up doing really well. 288 is Stuart Hearn. I believe plays for Tim Gideye. 104 is Elliot Yates. 154, another of our American quizzes, is Jimmy Lee. I think is very good, actually. So.
Yeah, Jimmy is very decent. I think he's maybe slightly towards highbrow, but he's a very good player. Don plays for Persephone in the Rookies League.
They've done really well. I think they're still in the plate, are they? Persephone? I think they're still...
Maybe.
I think they're either in the plate or lost last week, but they did really well. They had a good run.
We sort of gone through a run here of 4 heats in a row where the seed has been a sport monster. Brendan Curtis, Quinton Holt, Michael McPartland, and Dom Tate. If you run the pure sport Mimir and that was the final, you wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. Stu Hearn plays for Team Giga,
Yeah.
Elliot Yates, new name to me. I don't you know anything about.
No, afraid not Elliot, but as we've said to a few other people, you've got 9 weeks to make a name for yourself here, or the rest of your quizzing career, of course. And on that note, we'll take game 37. Okay, so seed here, number 115, Fraser Cameron. 63, Dan Glennon. 21 is Andrew Townsley, another excellent result on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. 120, another new name actually, George Barton.
I played against George in Merm as well, and George battered me. He also won the heat, and Barry Simmons was involved. So,
oh right, well he's going to be.
George is really good, and he was good at the lowbrow stuff as well. Was probably what he was stronger in. That's my one experience of him, but yeah, I was impressed. I'm also always impressed by Fraser Cameron. He's one of the guys behind the chase. He's improved a hell of a lot. He's a QLL guy.
Did he win one of the Buchel trophies?
He won one of the highbrow trophies. And
highbrow trophy, yeah. No, that's right. So I know I've sent it. He didn't. There was a mix-up, and they never actually sent me the trophy. So Fraser is due for entry into the next highbrow Mimir because the trophy company messed up and didn't send it. But he was very gracious about it. And Andrew Townsley, I think, won the OQL World Cup sweepstake, Euro Championship sweepstake. So that's nice for him, obviously, but not for anyone else.
He also won $5 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, I think
probably
the money from the sweepstake meant more, though. Absolutely. And Dan Glennon, I know that name. He's played last time, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's out of Ireland.
There's a lot of players out of Ireland, which is great. Finished in tier 14, actually. So hopefully he'll be looking for a bit of a better season this time round. And on that, we'll go to game 38. Takes us to pretty much the midpoint. We were hoping to do this in 2 hours. We're looking like we're going to go about 20 minutes. But I'll blame Lewis for chatting too much.
Sorry.
Right, actually, we need to concentrate now because we have a big game because we have a superstar seed in from the Chase, Paul Sinner. Number 77 from the Wirral Quiz League, who had his best ever quiz performance at the recent Quiz in the North. That is Dave Trent. 175 is Kevin Duckworth, who I met when I appeared on 15 to 1. And number 100, new name for me, is Edward Devlin, but I believe he is Laura Kwong's partner, and that's how he's got involved.
Yeah, I thought like this is maybe one that you can take, John. Dave Trent and Kev Duckworth are people that probably you can offer better.
Yeah, they're both lovely, both great company. Kevin and I had a good few drinks together after I won my 15 to 1 episode. Dave, a very northern quizzer, Sheffield Wednesday fan, so linked with you, Lewis. As he did really well at the recent Quiz in the North. They had 20 questions on Yorkshire. I got 10 right and he got 16. And he finished way higher up the field than he usually would. Very good on music, actually, but it depends what kind of eras. I don't think either of them have got what it takes to beat Paul, but they're both going to really enjoy it. And Kev actually had a stint as a stand-up comic. So that'll be nice to be playing against an actual qualified, good stand-up comic. No, I've seen what Kev sings, and he did do one joke that really had me laughing. But
am I right in thinking that last year Paul missed a game, and that was really the only reason that he wasn't tier 1? Yeah,
unfortunately so. We have changed those rules, and you can read about them. But Paul ended up winning tier 6. I think he won it quite comfortably in the end. He had quite a tough final, but he did triumph and has a trophy. So that's what everybody wants. I think I can't remember what tier Dave and Kevin finished in, but I say they're both lovely quizzers, but I don't think they've got what it takes to match Paul. As I don't know much about Edward. I believe he's Laura's partner, so I'd expect some good music knowledge there, but I don't know. And so we now go into the second half of the draw with game 39. That's if my maths is right. My reading numbers isn't very good, and I'm sure I messed up my maths last time. 239, absolutely wonderful guy. That is Peter Edis, head teacher from the south somewhere. 142, James Divine Stoneman. Most of you will remember from his time on University Challenge. 186, new name for this season, Maria McGann. And 245 is Rachel Monroe. She was part of the Tryhards team in the Connections League, who were recently on Only Connect, and she's a really nice person to know.
Yeah, so I don't like correcting John, but this is actually the halfway game, and Peter Edis is the deputy head teacher, not a head teacher.
And Maria McGann's played before, probably.
I don't know. Rachel Monroe, I read for her game in the Cup, I think week 2, the week that there was a Love Island pair, and she was very excited about that. So that sort of, I was really impressed by her lowbrow knowledge, actually. And I think she's someone as a non-seed I keep an eye on. James Divine Stoneman as well, for a UC winning captain, is better on lowbrow than you would associate with a UC winning captain. He's someone who won't be a pushover in this. This is a really good heat. I expect Peter Edis will win it, but I don't think much will go there.
No, sorry, Maria, we don't know you yet, but as we've said to other people, 9 weeks to show us what you can do there. And that'll be a nice heat as well. So I know Peter and Rachel are really nice, and James seems really nice and want to know of him. So that should be great. Right, game 40. 134, a new seed for this season, very involved with the highbrow Mimir. That is Hugh Bennett. 255. Ooh, Rob Greenhill. Good job. This isn't a highbrow Mimir, because that's a really tough draw if it was. 17, Andrew Dice. He's one of the people who found us from Dara's Twitter feed. And 223 is Nicola Loudon, Loudon. Sorry again if I pronounced that wrong. I think she's fairly new to OQL recently. Yeah.
I mean, Hugh's thought of as a highbrower, but Hugh normally chucks in 20s on every lowbrow category in the GP. So if he's not a lowbrower, he's one of the better non-lowbrowers you'll ever find. He's world sport, I would say, is one of his niches where he is as good as anyone. I think he's won the sport round at the World Quiz Championships before. So those sort of niche, weird sports, he will be all over. Rob Greenhill's really good on film. That's his area of lowbrow. TV as well. Andrew again found us through Dara. Nicola, I think, plays for I can't remember.
I think it's one of them. Yeah, I have seen the name in the score sheet. Sorry, Nicola, we can't give you more of a build up there, but hopefully by this time next week we'll be saying, well, there's Nicola. She beat Rob Greenhill and Hugh Bennett. Rob actually made their Tier 6 final last time, came third behind Paul and David Cruikshank, so obviously did very well. Yeah, so he won't be any pushover, even though he's better at highbrow. Just shows how good he is at highbrow. And then we'll move on to game 41. So our seed here is number 29, which is Barry Humphrey, been on more quiz TV shows than I have. 140 is Izzy Morris, who I know from the Connections League, plays for the Clock Strikers, who came third last season. 97 is Ed Mason, and 198 is, this is Machine Gun Akpan, Matthew Akpan. Had more bonus attempts than anybody else, I seem to remember, over a few weeks. And I think Machine Gun Akpan.
Infinitely jealous of Matthew Akpan and that nickname. It's superb.
I've
only heard great things about him.
Yeah, you don't want to know your nickname, Lewis. No. And we haven't got one yet. You have to make that for yourself.
Talking about nicknames, Barry Humphrey, the king of lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best food and drink quizzer about.
Yeah, although I did see he commented on, he put up a picture. He's up in Scotland watching Paul Sinner's show at the moment, and he put a photo up of his dinner that he'd got in Scotland. And Gary Grant commented saying, "That looks like something you're forced to eat when you've broken your jaw." So maybe he's not always that discerning, but that did make me laugh. Yeah, I mean that's actually that should be quite a tough heat. Barry and Izzy, Ed's pretty good. So yeah, it's going to be a tough heat. I suspect it'll come down to Barry and Izzy. I don't know where Izzy's strengths lie, but she did really well in the Connections League last season.
Yeah, we played them, and I mean, strong team with Tunderbach and Steve Bannerman. But Izzy got some fantastic answers. Really, really good team. So that's a really good game.
It should be good and fun to read for as well, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, it's Heat 42. Seed here is number 72. Right, we're back on the chase. I think this is the last chase that's come out of the hat, so you should know it's Dara Ennis. 128 from America, Greg Sandukas. 145 is James Ward. Did James beat Dara last time?
He beat him in the first ever game in this tournament.
Wow, so James is going to start again against the chaser. And 199 is Matthew Howard, who I think captains one of the new teams from memory.
Yeah, Dara, big supporter of OQL Dara. We're big fans of Dara. He's found us so many players. Some of the players who made season 1, people like Amanda Haggart and Ben Spicer, found us through Dara and got involved in quizzing through Dara. So there's a handful of young quizzers who sort of got their start through Dara, which is always good to see. As you say, James Ward beat Paul Sinner week 1. His first ever game in this tournament, James Ward beat Paul Sinner. So he's going chase the hunting again. Lewis, do you know much about Greg Sandukas?
Afraid I don't. It's a name I've seen, but yeah, afraid I don't know anything about him.
I think he's very good in American quiz, but we don't know how well that's going to translate to UK pop culture. No. I am sorry, Matthew.
Interesting one.
Yeah, Matthew, I've seen your name, but I can't think what team you're on at the moment. I do apologise, but hopefully you'll have a great game against a chaser to start with. And on that, we'll move to 43. Okay, so our seed here is number 18, which is Andrew Franco. So Andrew and Frankie are the only married couple to both be seeded, as Ollie Levy hasn't entered this time round. Then number 41 is Carl Connor. 126 is Greg Butler. And 274 is Simon G, who captains Bravehearts, is that right?
Yeah. Oh, no, I think that's Simon Tick, isn't it?
It is, yes. Sorry, Simon, yes.
Simon G I think he made an okay tier last time. John's having the season bit, which you can all sort of watch if you'd like. Simon G made a quite decent tier last time. I know Carl Connor has just left the unknowns in Division 1. He's a really good player. Andrew Franco, I played him as well last week, and Andrew got 12 out of 15 on his own and absolutely battered us all.
I played Andrew in MIM as well this week, and Andrew is someone, when I come against in quiz, I think this is not going to go well, I'm going to lose, and somehow I managed to win. It was complete luck. He was brilliant throughout and was unlucky to get third. But there are a few quizzes that I respect as much as Andrew. I think every time I've played him, he's got a calm head. I think he's a big Liverpool fan, and I think that's a good area for him. Yeah, shame. But it's a good area for him, and I always impressed by his knowledge. Yeah,
when he was on 15-1, he beat Carl Whelan heads up in the final, and Carl's pretty much the best ever Wirral quizzer there's ever been. And one of the best we've ever had in Merseyside, and that was a really big win for Andrew. Carl was one of my phone of friends on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but I didn't ring him. Not that I regret it, but he didn't know it anyway. Doesn't matter. Simon and Greg both playing a lot of competitions as well. Simon ended up in tier 7 last time, but lost out in his quarter final. I don't think Greg played last time. Just have a quick look. I don't think Greg played last time. Hopefully he'll have a good season now. And we'll take game 44. Okay, so your seed here is number 48, which one of the funniest comments I've seen on Facebook this year. This is the first time he's been seeded since his vasectomy. Chris Bean. We've got another Butler next. We've got 147 is Jason Butler. Then we've got 116, which is Freddie Harris, who is I believe a stage manager, which is an interesting. 102 is Eleanor Healy. I think she usually uses Ellie Healy, doesn't she? Plays in one of the newer teams, I think. Yeah,
this is interesting. From what I remember of Chris last time, as well as making good jokes about vasectomy, he was once a wrestler.
Wow. So Freddie could have managed him then at some point.
Yeah, he could well have. Jason Butler is a non-seed that we consider seeding. He's probably one of the better people about on what you would call a pub quiz syllabus. Very good on that area. And I he's been brilliant since he joined OQL, and I suspect pop culture is going to be his area of strength.
Yeah, one big problem he may have though is earlier today he was in a maze, and I've no idea if he got out. So if he didn't, he won't be able to win his matches.
So yeah, we have this should be a good heat. We have Ellie, who we can't offer an interesting fact on. Sorry, Ellie. And then we have a stage manager, a wrestler, and a man who may currently be missing.
Sure.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And we'll move on to game 45. So the seed here is 265, which is Sarah Trevarthen, who I met for the first time at the recent quiz in the North. 234 is Paul Davis. 254 is Rob Cumming. So you've had to wait a long time for me to re-say your name, Rob, but that is definitely 254. Even if I was looking at a Stellan chart, I would be sure of that. And 113, one of our Irish quizzers, is Frank Tobin.
Yeah, this is one where I'm going to have to. I know about Sarah. Sarah, a very good music quizzer. Done well on all quizzes she's entered briefly. Rob, I think, was on Julia's Only Connect team, from what I remember, about 3 years ago. And
he'll be good then. They were part of the quiz writing team. Yeah, so that was the name of the team.
They were a very good team.
Yeah. Another of the chase writers. Do either of you have anything to offer on Paul or Frank?
Oh, well, Frank plays for the Q Tours, I think. He ended up in Tier 11 last time and didn't have a good time and lost his quarter-final. Paul Davis, I believe, was part of the Grinling Gibbons team. But I could be wrong there. There was a couple of Pauls on that team. I think it was Paul Davis and Paul Emerson. I don't think he plays that often, though. I think this will come back. You never want to rule anybody out, but I think it'll be between Sarah and Rob. I suspect Rob could be quite a good non-seed then if he played with Julia. Anybody who writes quiz questions for a living is naturally going to pick up a lot. If you're writing for the chase, it's more lowbrow feet. So there's a good chance you'll pick up a lot of stuff there. But yeah, Sarah, really nice, really great to meet her at the Quiz in the North. I just sorry I didn't get a chance to chat to her more. It was a busy day. Right, game 46. Our seed here is number 230. Talking of quiz writers, we've got Paddy Duffy, writes for pretty much everything. 311, one of our American quizzers that plays most UK games. Zachary Foster, and I suspect him and Paddy are friends, actually. 270 is, well, okay, she's going to love this. It's Shanine Salmon. 47 is Chloe Gibbs. So I know Shanine and Paddy are very good friends, and they used to do a lot of all things quiz together. And Shanine and Zach play on the same team. That is an absolute brilliant game, just for niceness.
Yeah, that's going to be very fun. I think, I mean, any group of four that Shanine would be in, Shanine would be connected to the other quizzes in some way. She's the most connected person in quiz. She is the glue that keeps this community together. But yeah, that's going to be a great bunch. Zach is fantastic, always impresses me with his BritCon, as they call it. The BritCon knowledge that comes up sometimes in just regular OQL matches, he gets some things I just never would have expected him to get. Paddy, obviously, we all know is brilliant. His podcast's good. I've listened to an episode of that. Music. Yeah.
He writes.
Very interesting. And yeah, he writes for everything, right?
He writes for the hit list. And he had a round on top 5 singles. One of the songs on it was Bryan Adams' Summer of '69. But as we all know, that only got to number 42. So I had to send him a message just to say, just to let you know. And well, actually, just quickly, I've had an breaking news from Jason Butler. He did manage to get out of the maze, but getting out of Faversham was a different matter entirely. But he is home safely, we are pleased to announce. So well done, Jason. And Chloe's a new name for this season. I'm afraid I don't know much about her, but I've seen the name about, so I suspect she's already in OQL. And you'll have a lot of fun with that match, I'm sure, Chloe. So that'll be a good way to break you into Pop Culture Challenge. And we'll go on to 47. So seed here is number 277, which is, as all fans of OQL USA will know, it's our commissioner there. It's Steve Bannerman. Number 36. Oh, that's Bob XR. So 2 Americans there straight away. And Bob's very good. 105 is Emily Cooper, who again is, I believe, a member of the Grinling Gibbons. And number 22 is Andy Christley. Is Andy American too?
No, Andy British. He did well on OC a few years ago. He's Canterbury based or Kent based. Okay. I will pass the John for Steve and Lewis for Bob, but I will just say that Bryan Adams is absolute drop.
Amazing. We all know that. That's fine. No, Steve is a great quizzer, really great guy. Everything he's done with OQL USA has been fantastic. And I do understand that later, sometime next month, there is going to be starting a new OQL USA pop solos, which Steve will be advertising very soon. Lots of people will be wanting to get involved with that, I'm sure. Yeah, Bob is. Do you know Bob well, do you, Lewis? I don't know.
Yeah, I played a couple of games against him in pop solo season. We matched up in the semi and the final. I think he came second eventually in tier 3 in that match.
Wow, that's really good.
But his performance in the semi-final, I think, is the most dominant performance in a Mimir I've ever seen. I think he got maybe 14 of his own that week on a set that, I mean, not all of those sets were brilliant for me anyway, but there was, some of it was just like gibberish. He got them very, very composed, great range of knowledge across the subjects. Not sure how that passes over into the UK content, but I'm excited to see what he can do, because I think just all round he's an excellent quizzer.
I don't know much about Emily. I think it's Linge Gibbons she plays for, and they're a good team. They're OQL League 3. Have been Division 1 and 2, so she'll be a good player, I'm sure. But Steve won his tier last year, which I think was tier 7, hence his seeding. But I think he's better than tier 7. I think he'll do very well this time round. Be great to see. Okay.
Steve's advanced, unlike a lot of Americans, Steve's good at British sport, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Him and me often talk about UK sport, all sports in general, really. It's good. Right. Okay. Just had a message quickly from Rob Hanna. Andy Christie was on Hive Minds with him. So if you're good enough to be a teammate with Rob Hanna, you're going to be a good quizzer. So that's interesting. Okay. Next game. The seed here is number 183, which is Liam McCarthy. 295 is Tim Harding. Is that 87?
Yep.
87 is Dean Baz. Dean's been doing a lot of help with OQL UK, with a lot of vetting for us, which we really appreciate. And he did a lot of reading last time out for this. And I think he wrote for us, didn't he? And then played up. Yeah. And 76 is Dave Nicholson.
Countdown.
Yes, that's right. I thought I knew the name.
So, this is I'll probably take a special interest in, because I'll start with Dave Nicholson's a countdowner who made the Bockle 7 final last time. He's improving a lot and has just started. Dean was our Mr. Do Everything in the first season. He set, he read, he vetted, he did stats. He was basically his stats were amazing. He was the forerunner to Mike Olsen.
Yeah, Mike stepped in, did a great job with Dean. Yeah, Dean started a great job with that.
And Liam is my teammate in Connections, and Liam is incredible. He's improving at such a rapid rate, and you talk about sort of people like Sean Webb are going to be up there. I think give it 2 years, and Liam McCarthy is going to be in the top 50 in the world. He's that good and is improving that rapidly. And Tim Harding, sorry Tim, I don't know much about.
No, this happens. There's a lot of players and there's a lot of brand new names too. So at the moment we don't know Tim, but hopefully by the end of this everyone will. And on that we'll go to game 49. So our seed here is number 144, which is James Murphy. It was James Murphy who he did something good, I think, last time. 150 is Jennifer Tegg, playing out of the USA. Number 1, a very good friend of mine, is Aaron Hayes. Recently had his 40th birthday and didn't take it very well, but we had a good night anyway to celebrate. 166, absolutely lovely quizzer, is Josh Baldwin.
Yeah, James Murphy, a good friend of mine. James, he was a non-seed that we should have seeded last time. He made tier 2. He beat Paul Sinner on his way. He beat, he just went big name, giant killing all throughout the tournament. James is one of those people. He's in his mid-30s, but he is miles better on the last 10 and 20 years than he is on old stuff. If there's trash lifestyle, if there's post-2010 music, if there's modern video games, James is going to mop it up, and that's why he was beating people last time. The quads that a lot of people don't know about, James knows about in incredible depth. Yeah.
Aaron and I quiz together every Monday. He's very, very strong on his music and has great knowledge on other areas as well, and always likes to get, when I get an answer wrong and he had the right one, I do get regularly reminded of that. It's actually, I'm not sure if Jennifer Tegg is American. She might be British. Yeah, sorry about that, Jennifer. We have a other American Jennifer. She's new, but plays no QL UK, I think. Do you know? I don't remember which team though.
I think it's Jennifer Davidson Tech in the UK. That might ring the bell, but I can't tell you what team for.
Yeah, and Josh Baldwin plays with the Dionysus team, doesn't he? I think.
No, I don't think so. I think Josh is
that's
one
a
of the
different
lower
Josh, I
league.
think.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Yeah.
Josh Platoon, isn't it?
Possibly, yeah. Sorry, getting everybody mixed up in this one. But yeah, it should still be a really good game. I expect James, he did really well last time. I expect he'll probably come through again, but second will be up for anyone really there. So yeah, great. Right, game 50. Seed here, number 136, Ian Morris. Number 34 is Egghead Beth Webster, who probably was very narrowly not a seed. 93 is Donal O'Driscoll, one of our Irish players. Is he another stand-up? And 108, you'll need to tell me where he's from. It's Espen, is it Kibsgaard? Is that pronounced right?
He's from, I had a message actually asking when you were going to do an advert for their tourist board. Espen is another one of our Norwegians.
Yeah, Norway. It's very snowy and not very different to the UK. There you go.
Espen, he did really well in the highbrow. I mean, I think Espen normally comes top 100 in the world. But again, he's skews more to highbrow. And obviously with Norway being so different to the UK, their stuff might not have come across. Ian was seeded on the strength of his own answers last time. He only made tier 6, but he had about 45 own gets in 5 games.
He's part of that connections team that drew with yours this week as well. I think he's captain.
He is he. So maybe I shouldn't have seeded him.
Beth needs no introduction. Great egghead, lovely lady.
Yes.
Really good on quite a lot of things. So she'll do very well. As I say, Donal, really nice guy. Is he a stand-up?
I believe he is, yeah. I think he's posted about that on Facebook. And just one of these guys who's come into the league and just clearly has a great passion and love for it, always commenting, which is always great to see, building that community spirit.
Yeah, it's a good heat, that one. Very friendly. Should be fun. Okay, game 51. Okay, seed here is number 67, which is Dan Fullard, who organises all our friendlies. So thank you, Dan. We do really appreciate that. 215 is Morgan Bush, one of the youngest players in the league. And congratulations, Morgan, on getting your place at Liverpool with your great A-level results. We're all really happy for you. 241 is Peter Smith. And then 106 is Emma Harris.
People maybe I don't know as much about. I know a lot about Dan. Dan's brilliant pub quizzer. He's good at that pub quiz syllabus. Very good at all areas of entertainment. Likes his sport, that sort of area. Maybe struggle a bit more on the more modern stuff. Emma did really well last time, if I remember. I think she's a friend of Ronnie's, and she's someone who doesn't do a ton of competitive quizzing, but she was really good.
She came in tier 8 and made the semi-finals, which is good as she.
Morgan plays for Foregone Conclusion, Robert Crawley's team. They've done really well this year. Crawley Senior has been a superstar for that team, but Morgan's done really well. And Peter, I think, is an Irish quizzer who I have a recollection of reading for last time, and I think he did quite well in this tournament last time.
Well, I think Morgan is he's been much preferring the Connections League, but he does love all kinds of quizzing, and hopefully he's going to Liverpool Uni. He'll be joining up with MQL, possibly with James McGregor's team, which is always good. Peter ended up in tier 11 last time, and Dan Fullard actually has a pub quiz podcast out, making quiz questions at the Quiz Addict. Definitely worth having a listen to if you've got a bit of time. There's about 40 quizzes already up there. So if you've got a chance, have a look, go onto Twitter and look for at the Quiz Addict and have a listen to Dan's pub quizzes because they're really good. And he steals some of our questions for it. So always makes us look good when our questions are reused somewhere else. Game 52, please. Seed here then is number 28, which is Ashton Davis. Then we've got 280, which is Steve Coates. Well, we have Dylan Coates there, now we've got Steve Coates. 278, Steve Barnes. This is the Steve who's a student, so sorry I messed that up earlier. And number 12, a new name for me, Alexis Leiper. I don't know who that is, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Ashton Davis, brilliant. Really, really good player. One of the best speed quizzes I've ever seen. He is. If you ever play him as buzzer quiz, rapid. Steve Barnes is another person we consider Steve. I don't know if Lewis might know a bit more about him with him being a student.
Yes, I think there's one of the teams in the QB League is the Steve Barnes Experience. I read the other week. Sadly, Steve Barnes wasn't playing. But yes, I remember Steve being on University Challenge. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and had a good team and a strong performance. So yeah, probably, with a lot of the Quiz Bowl players, they do lean slightly to the highbrow. But from the people that I know him, he's very well thought of.
Yeah. And Ashton won Buchel too as well the first season we ran it. So I remember going down to Hoylake Beach and handing him a rather oversized trophy because he was in the area.
Yeah. Well, I think I've been here. Steve Coates captains the Chiltern team. He's sneaky good, is what I would say Steve Coates is. A lot of those Chiltern ones you don't expect to sort of know them more. They're an older team. You don't expect maybe to know some of the things they do. They have some surprising knowledge on that Chiltern team. They're quite good at some of the stuff that you expect maybe younger players to be good at.
They're a great bunch.
Yeah. And if you're from that area, get in touch with the Chiltern League, because I believe it's very good and they are looking for new players. And if anybody ever wants to join a local league and you want to know where there's one near you, get in touch and we'll try and put you in touch with a local team for you so you can get involved with league quizzing in person, because it is really enjoyable experience. And we'll go to game 53. So the seed here is number 5, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's Ailsa Watson. Now we've got number 249, Richard Aubrey. Oh, that's already going to be a tough game. 217 is Nathan Pace. And 185 is Lindsay Baumeister. Well, I'll start off by saying that's going to be a lovely, fun heat to play in, but that's a really, really tough game. That's 4 of the nicest people in quiz there, all in one heat. I know lots about all of them. Lindsay at the recent quiz in the North came up to everybody and just gave them all a really big hug. She was so pleased to see everyone. It was lovely. Rich was part of the string section, one on Only Connect, and then again one on Very Hard Questions. Ailsa, 15-1 champion, done really well on loads of other stuff, part of the Central Belters team, made tier 1 last time, I think, or very nearly. And Nathan Pace plays in the MQL with James McGregor. Huge music fan, I think made the Popmaster Champions.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's stacked. That is, I mean, a lot of OC pedigree, obviously. Yeah, and Richard's a guy I speak to a lot in quiz. I met him at before I met anyone else really in quiz, I met him at a non-aired pilot recording for a TV show. And we got to it. First time I learned about you people and this back world of quiz.
Yeah.
But a fantastic guy, extremely passionate. Obviously, Only Connect is his forte. It's his passion. He's extremely good at it. String section, really good. But I mean, yeah, that seems like that's going to be one hell of a lot. Great people, lovely people, great knowledge.
Well, I brought Rich into quiz when I met him on Only Connect. I brought him to this on the ground world. So indirectly, I brought you in, Lewis. So you owe me your life now.
You do.
Right. Okay, let's move on to 54. Right, so the seed here is 226, which is Nina Grant out of the London Quiz League. 122, George Scratchard, who I also believe plays in London. 23, Anne Gavigan, American Quizzer, playing in London in the QLL. And 300 is Tom Wright. Have we got 4 QLLers?
I'm not sure. I know I played Tom Wright in Merv as well, though, and he's really good. That's going to be really interesting.
That's strong.
Yeah. Nina and Anne, I think, know each other quite well. I'm sure they would.
Yeah. Anne did one in pop solos, didn't she?
She did. I think she was tier 3. I think I played her at maybe the first knockout stage. Obviously, it was really good. Recently played, there was a pop solos friendly about Philadelphia. Anne is from Philadelphia. It's the most dominant performance I've ever seen in a game ever. I think she got like 40 points, and I came second on like 10. And also Anne has a very good, I think it's called Garbage. I can't remember exactly what it's called. My apologies, Anne. Twitter thing. Is it like Garbage? I can't remember what it's called. But she does 5 questions basically a day. on pop culture subjects. One that's a bit of a throwback. The other's stuff that's in the zeitgeist at the moment. Very, very good. Big recommendation to any quizzer to follow that. Play it every day. Very enjoyable. But yeah, fantastic quizzer. Nina, always a joy.
Nina, they were tier 4 last time. George was tier 8. But I think Anne and Nina's, that's going to be a great game to see those two going up against each other. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a nice one to be involved watching as well. All right, game 55. Okay, so our seed here is number 81, David Hess, one of the stalwarts of the Lancaster Quiz League. 177, Kieran Marwaha. 84 is David Smith from Merseyside Quiz League. And 155 is Joe Cleaver. I think it's new this season.
Yeah, rationale knowledge about Lil Nas. So if you pigeonhole David Hess maybe as an older Northern quizzer, I think you'd probably be wrong. He's someone who's going to be really dangerous in this. I don't know if he's got that well-rounded pop culture knowledge fully to make tier 1, but he's got it in him if the set is right to cause anyone problems. He's historically been one of the top 10 quizzers in the UK probably for the last 20 years. And yeah, older stuff he'll be brilliant on, but don't count him out on the modern stuff. After that, I am struggling to say much about the other 3, if any of you have.
David plays MQL, and I think he'll find that being in a heat with David Hess will really work against him. They'll have David's strengths will also be some of David Hess' strengths as well, so that's going to nullify him. Kieran is QLL, I think. Definitely involved with quite a lot of things, often commenting in the Facebook group, which is nice.
Kieran is in my scratch team for the buzzer quiz.
Oh, okay. Great.
Put me together for looking forward to that in Birmingham.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems very passionate about it, which again, love to see.
Yeah, and Joe is a new name for me, Joe Cleaver. So yeah, sorry we don't know you yet, but we do hope to get to know you better as the weeks go on, give more information. And on that, we'll go to game 56. So our seed here is number 218, which is Nick Mortimer. Then we've got number 71, Darren Fairhurst. 232 is Pam Douglas. And 170 is Juliet Harris.
Nick, I think, is the only person who has both a lowbrow and a highbrow trophy.
Yeah, that's very impressive, though.
Yeah,
I should know his address off by heart now with all the trophies he's won.
He won tier 3 last time. Yeah, he's really good. He's another one of the Chase people. We've got a lot of the Chase question writers and the Chasers here, so strong Chase contingent. We all love Pam. Pam's lovely.
She was runner-up in her tier. She was runner-up in tier 13 last time. So very nearly.
She will have Polly the Parrot with her, of course, which is an advantage. Maybe that's cheating. I don't know, but always great to see. Juliet is fantastic, another member of Dio. Her music knowledge particularly very, very strong. Yeah,
and Darren, I'm trying to think what team he plays for. I see his name quite regularly. Plays regularly in OQL. So sorry can't give any more information yet, but Darren, again, will hopefully know more about you as the weeks go by. And at that point, we'll take game 57. Okay, our seed here is number 6, which is Alan Gibbs, a recent winner of Quiz in the North, although I also did do better online on the online one, so she would have won had she been there. 159 is John Mackenzie out of Aberdeen, plays for one of our new teams. I can't remember the name offhand. 228 is Noel Kelso, who is that is right. Okay, that's what I thought. Well, hang on, if I say that it's wrong, I'll make a mistake. And 279 is Steve Childs, who hosts for the Collections League, also very involved at Calderdale. So 3 of those were at Quiz in the North, actually, and the only one who wasn't is the one who lives in Aberdeen, which is definitely the most north.
Yeah, I'll let you discuss that North Fest, John.
Yeah, well, Alan Gibbs is a great, really was one of the favourites last season. I think he came down on where it was a bit too modern maybe for his liking in the computer games. More computer isn't going to help him, less music might. He's still a very, very strong quizzer. He's been doing really well in a lot of competitions lately. And I say he won the recent Quiz in the North. That Quiz in the North calendar is very different to what you expect in other quizzes. Noel, Sarah's partner, very good quizzer, plays for Spiral Scratch. We've got a cup semi-final next week. Steve Childs plays in loads of our competitions, hosts for the Connections League, which is always great. And he was at Quiz in the North. I don't know how they both did. I didn't look. Sorry. And John McKenzie, say based out of Aberdeen. I can't remember the name. He captains one of the scratch teams who I think are in the rookie leagues this season. And I'm not too sure how they've done, but yeah, always great to see people involved. I would expect Alan to win, but there could be a challenge there from Noel. I want to see how well Alan does. I think maybe he had some bad draws last time as well, because he really didn't do as well as he could have done. Although I think he finished up in tier 3. So to say you came into tier 3 and didn't do as well as you could is hopefully a big compliment. Sorry?
He won tier 4.
He won tier 4, yeah. But I think he would have much preferred to have been up in tier 1 somewhere, and I expect we'll see better this time around. Yeah, so sorry, I just talked there, but we'll go to game 58, and hopefully you guys will know more about these ones. So 157 to start with is Joe Ashdown. Recently beat me and Mimi as well. Not that I'm bitter. 197, Matt Rutherford. 284 is Steve Parker. And 258 is Ros Dowding.
I can't say I know much more about these. I know about Joe. Joe is about as lovely a person as you can get.
Yes, I didn't mind losing to him and Mime as well, even if he did get a lucky guess in the last round. But it was good. Matt Rutherford captains the team with Beth in it now. I can't remember what they're called. But they did sorry?
Mighty Atoms.
Mighty Atoms, that's it. They did very well in the Rookie Division 1. So they'll be joining the main league for next season. Steve and Roz, I don't know anything about you at the moment, I'm afraid. You're both new names to me. But say, all being well, we'll get to know you more as the weeks go on.
Did Roz play last?
So did Ross play last season?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. No, Ross. No. So a new name for this season, but say we'll get to know as the weeks go on. Right, game 59. Okay, so our seed here is number 127, which is one of the stars of the US Quiz League and a all-time record holder on the US Chase, Greg Peterson. Then 262 is Sam Story. 184 is Liam Tom, and number 86 is David Workman. I'm just going to duck out whilst you two talk about this, so I won't be long.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, so John's ruined this, hasn't he?
I think, get rid of him, mate. That's what I think. Strong. I mean, obviously, was it $220,000 that Greg won recently on the Chase? Incredible performance. To be very proud of himself. Anything here, you can assume it's going to be a bonus on an already good year. Liam Tom is, I believe, Scottish.
Yeah,
Scottish. Been involved in the last couple of seasons of OQL.
Yeah, he plays for Trivoli Hirsute with Paddy Pam.
Yeah, that's it. With Paddy, he's very, very good. But yeah, hear great things about Liam. Well liked, and a younger quizzer, obviously, which we're passionate about getting more people involved. Don't know David or Sam.
David is ex-Mastermind semi-finalist.
Oh, wow.
Based guy. He's good. Sam is Andrew Story's son, I think.
Cool.
Has been introduced by his dad. I'd expect Greg to do well there. Liam, good on sport, likes his cricket. He's a rare Scottish cricket fan. I think he's
Just him.
Played in Sri Lanka, I think.
Amazing.
Cricket before. So yeah, but yeah, I think that'll be Greg, maybe David.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everyone. I drunk 1.5 litres of Pepsi Max. I was never going to get through a 2-hour Zoom call without a short comfort break. Thank you. Sorry about I didn't get involved with that one, but I'm sure it was a great analysis and there was no slagging me off, of course. Right, game 60. So our seed here is number 146, which is Jamie McNeil, but an absolute star in the Connections League so far.
Oh, wow.
165, Joseph Taylor. 156 is Joanna Byrne. And 213 is Mike Taylor. So other than our seed here, Jamie, I don't know too much about the others. Jamie also played in that precursor event that I ran many, many years ago that was just a bit of fun. And really amazed everybody with how good he was at such a young age, and so unassuming as well. which is great.
Jamie loves this PP. I've known Jamie quite a while, probably longer than I've known any quizzer. I once got lost in the middle of Milton Keynes with him for about 3 hours. So that's my Jamie story. But no, Jamie is one of the brightest people, naturally bright people I've ever met. He can do mental maths to the level that would put me and you to Shane John within seconds.
There was we played Jamie this week in Connections, and absolute paddling from him. He was superb throughout, particularly on the vowels, particularly in one set of the vowels, which I won't spoil.
Yeah, we've still got games to go, but yeah.
But there was something that definitely played to his strengths, and we
not
couldn't get anywhere near, but he was on it straight away in a way that, absolutely incredible performance. So he'll be doing good things.
Yeah, when you talk about transfer skills, if Jamie ever applied for Countdown, he would be possibly the best one of the top 5 or 6 countdowners to have ever been on that show.
Wow.
He's that good at it. He's really good. Joe Taylor, I know, does a lot of 50 at 6, I think. And quizzing. I think he was at the quiz in the North.
Oh, was he?
That you were.
Oh, yes, he was. Yes, I know who he is now. Sorry, Joe. Yes. He even said hello to me. He said, "Hello, John." So he's got one up on Robin Whelan already because he knew who I was. Yeah, sorry about that, Joe. I remember you now. Joe Byrne also plays in OQ. Well, I can't remember what team she's on, but I see her name on the on the scoreboard quite regularly. And Mike Taylor, I don't know, though. I'm not even sure if he's UK or US. But yeah, look, I mean, it's hard to look beyond Jamie at the moment. He's really improving loads, driving force behind splendid isolation in Division 3. All right, game 61. Oops. So our seed here is number 143, which is James Horton, Aidan's other partner. Number 88 is Eddie Gunning, also plays out of the UAE, I think, but he's from the UK. 176 is Kevin Lawless. And then we've got number 19, which is Andrew McKenney.
So James made tier 2 last time, and James will tell you himself the area of lowbrow he does not like is music. And the areas of lowbrow he's really good at are film, sport, and video games, which are going to pop up more this time. So I think James will probably make tier 1 this time, with the changes I would expect. Eddie, I think might be back in the UK now, so halved our United Arab Emirates content. Kevin, I think, plays out of Ireland, and Andrew, am I right in saying, is American?
That's right, yeah.
So.
No, he definitely is American. I played him. I think I played him in Pop Solos, which suggests he may have been a bit lower down.
He was. He got to the tier 6 final most recently.
Tier 6. Oh wow, no, he's much better than I thought. Then, yeah, that's good. Kevin and Eddie were both tier 11 last time. I think James is going to be a player to watch, though, especially based on what you just said. Yeah, hard to bet against him there. Right, game 62. Okay, our seed here is number 299, Tom Speller. Then 247, Rebecca Denny. 180 is not Kirk Bevins, unfortunately, because he didn't enter. Well, they wouldn't have been far off that number if he had played. 180, one of my favourite people in quiz, Lauren Hamer. And number 42 is Carol Croning, who I don't know, I'm afraid. But I think I've mentioned this several times that Lauren took me to the World Netball final. It was a really great experience. Always petitions for more netball questions in quiz. If I wrote the quizzes, there'd be at least one every now and then. I do try and put them in. And yeah, Tom, has Tom got any, for any of you, has he got any trophies?
He was runner-up in the first waffle.
That's right, yeah.
He made the final of the most recent series of Merm as well.
Yeah, didn't he have a really superb run to that final, right? And a real, people know he's a good quizzer, but and he did well in the final as well. He had a really, really good tournament. And
he won tier 2 in this last time, just checked.
Brilliant.
So so he has got trophies. He's got a lot of pedigree. And that final last time had Paddy Duffy, Oliver Levy, and Ned Pendleton in it. So to win that, that's quality quizzing. I don't know, Rebecca has joined recently.
Yes, I think Rebecca maybe the highbrow was her first competition, if I'm correct. I think I read her first ever game in anything. She might be one of the ones that came through Dara, if I recall.
Okay.
But seemed very enthusiastic seemed lovely, and had some I think maybe there was a really quite maybe it was the obscure vice presidents, and she knew 3 out of 4 of them.
Okay.
So some good knowledge there. But I remember her being lovely, and hopefully we'll have a good game here.
Yeah, I don't know Carol, but there are a lot of people we don't know, and as we've said many times tonight, chance to make a name for yourself over the coming weeks. Let's have game 63. We're now at 2 hours long for the draw, which was our limit on what we wanted. We've only got 15 games to go, so it shouldn't be too long now. Right, number 9 is Alex Furby. 124 is Graham Young. 16 is Andrew Corsini. And then 237 is Paul Nyland. Paul from the Airedale League, who is a really great guy, always fun to chat to. Yeah, a few of them have entered this time than last time, I think. Yeah, really nice. Always good to speak to him.
Yeah, Alex helps edit our friendly.
Yes,
we really appreciate Alex. Thank you. It reads a lot as well. I think read more than almost everybody last time.
Yeah. Did he win on Beat the Chasers, or did he get?
I think he might have come close.
Yes,
I remember him being good, but maybe unlucky.
Yeah, I think he's from
good player.
Then sort of the mecca of seaside resorts. So Andrew Corsini is from Norfolk, so I have a vested interest in. He's Oxford Brook.
He's a Brooks. Yeah.
He's from Swaffham, and my first teaching job was in Swaffham.
Oh, nice.
So sure, that's mentioned Alan Partridge, Swaffham.
Yeah,
without a doubt it is. Yeah. I read the QB League for Andrew today. He got a couple of good answers. Good player, nice guy. So that's good.
Yeah, don't know Graham, unfortunately. Do either of you? Or... No, new name for this competition. Good luck, Graham. We wish you all the best, and say we hope to get to know more about you as the weeks go by. And we'll take game 64. Okay, so that's 297, Tom Adams, who reached tier 1 last time. 231 is Paddy Pamont. Probably could have been seeded, actually. He's done great since he joined us. 216, Natalie O'Brien, one of the very last people to sign up for the league. And number 88 is Demi Smith, a name I don't know. So, yeah, some good names there with Tom and Paddy. Paddy found us after being on the chase. He was absolutely brilliant.
One of the best performances I've ever seen on the chase.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. Had a good cash builder and then smashed it in the final round, as I recall, but a couple of really choice answers. I think he's really one to watch here. Probably unlucky not to be seeded. I'd be expecting him to do some big things.
Well, yeah, Tom did. Tom made tier 1 last time.
Yeah, Tom's great, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, throughout the rest of the competition, I think, Paddy with some wind in his sails could do really well. Demi is a friend of mine. Okay. Talk about all of your other competitions, all you want. She won the one that matters, the Lewis Jones Lockdown Quiz League.
Oh, well.
I did 16 weeks of pub-style quizzes on YouTube throughout the first 16 weeks of lockdown before I got bored. But Demi's team won it. They did brilliantly throughout. They're excellent. We've done a couple of practices to get people into it, just introducing new people. And Demi was great. They won both the games that I sorted. And yeah, I think this is a brand new thing for Demi, and I think she's going to do really good.
Great. And Natalie, she played from Australia, is that right?
She does play from Australia, but she's always willing to play. Australian quizzes are a strange bunch in that they are willing to play at the most bizarre times. And she's willing to play at basically 6 a.m., 7 a.m., same as you and Monroe in New Zealand. Natalie's quite good. She's not bad on that British content. I think she did better in the highbrow because it was more world-based. But I remember reading for her in the first season of this and was quite pleasantly surprised at her British knowledge as an Australian.
Great. All right, game 65. So our seed here is number 310. That is Yogesh Raut. We've talked about him previously. We'll talk about him more shortly. 65, Daniel Baisley, I think is also American. 68, Daniel O'Sullivan. He's got a cup semi-final coming up. And 312, top of the shot, is Zoe Green. That's our highest number in the draw.
I think this is the best heat yet. So Yogesh is the best film quizzer in the world. He's also one of the best music quizzers, I think. He's one who's won the media round of the World Championship before, done very well in their team. Dave Bill said Zoe Green is the non-seed to watch. He says she's absolutely a machine on music and TV. Daniel Baisley came to us through Sam Gandhi, who was brilliant quiz. Dan Baisley is very good in that and did our speed quizzing event and was very good in that. And Daniel O'Sullivan is the Robin to Ian Orris's Batman on If He Didn't Jaws.
Yeah.
These are 4 people who could have won a heat in any other heat.
This should be a great game to watch then. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Even with Yogesh being American, I can't see beyond him. But
he's amazing.
Yeah, we will see.
Every learned league one day I go, I might do all right here. I find out that I'm 20th, like 200th. Yogesh top 2 every time, every single time. What he doesn't know is not worth knowing. Absolutely brilliant.
Great. All right, game 66. Had a 77. That means we're 1/11th of the way through. No, 6/11ths. Oh, we're nearly there. Right. I'm not going to stop talking. Anyway, number 24, Ant Fish. 163 is Johnny Bonville Ginn. 164 is Joseph O'Donoghue. And number 95 is Duncan Ranton. So Duncan's Australian, but he is based in London, plays for LGQ. Does a lot for us. Ant's part of the Welsh team, isn't he? Tim Guy? Yeah. Joseph, he's that the Joseph who's on Dionysus?
No, he's Irish. He's an underdog.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's the captain of underdogs now. Yeah, sorry. And I don't think I know Johnny.
Johnny, am I right in saying Johnny, him and his wife play on the same team?
No, I think he's made Team of the Week a few times. I don't think he's in the Facebook group. I think I've tried to look for the name a few times when tagging people, but I think he's made Team of the Week quite a bit. I think that's going to be quite even, that one. Although you'd Ant being the seed, though, who knows? Anyone else got any comment on that one?
Afraid not.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. Well, it should be a good game. I'm sorry, I made messed up a bit there. Oh, a message. Eddie's not based in Abu Dhabi. Oh, Eddie is not based in Abu Dhabi anymore. One of the other prophets of Zoom does. He's based in Oslo since July late 1969. So he can tell us much more about the. Oh no, he says no. Now he wishes he'd been based in Oslo, based on everything we've said about Norway and how snowy it is. Right. I'm going to move on to game 67. I'm sure I'm going to get sued at one point of these. He's number 52, Chris Ducklin. Then number 158 is John Harden. Number 82 is David Hogg. I'm surprised he's not seeded. And 285 is Stephen Beningo. It's a new name to me. David Hogg, unfortunately, is having to leave OQL UK, the league, because his five-a-side league is back. And that's obviously, you know, I understand that. I used to do five-a-side over Wirral Quiz League for a while, but I don't do football at all anymore.
Then you're never don't do football in any context. My team lost 5-0 today, so I don't really know what I'm talking about there. But Chris Ducklin's really good on a lot of pop culture, wide array of knowledge. I think he was in Tier 2 last time and was very close to me in Tier 1.
Yeah.
John Harden signed up about 5 times, so he was really keen.
Very keen. Yeah, he's playing in the Connections League. He's captain in the last team that joined that, I think. So he's in there as well. So it's nice to see him involved in so much. Do we know Stephen?
I don't. I think Stephen commented a bit in the Facebook group, though. And I think he was one who asked me onwhen the draw was and how we could watch it. So I hope he stays watching for the 128 minutes it's taken to see his name.
Yeah, well, there you are, Stephen. We wish you well. It should be a good game, actually. You've got some tough opponents there in Chris, David, and John. But thank you. I hope you stuck with us, and I hope you watched the draw. And I hope that it was the person who Aidan thought as well. Otherwise, we just said all that for the wrong.
If not, that person, good luck.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have a look at game 68 now. So our seed here is number 8. That is, grand finalist from last time, Alan Morgan. Then 211 is Mike Lees, who is a tier winner. I think it was tier 11, maybe 13. 260 is Ross Taylor. We seem to have a lot of Taylors in this competition. And 244 is Rachel Sander. So, Lewis, you played against Alan in the final.
I did. Good player. I think he didn't show his all in that final. I think, someone had to come forth. That's how it works. But he, throughout that competition, he was fantastic. Big film guy, I think Alan. Didn't get a chance to flex that muscle particularly in that final. So I imagine he'll be having another good season. But in a game with Mike's excellent. Mike's an excellent player. So
yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
Mike's tier surprised me, and then he came storming through the final. I think he was tier 13 out of 14. Tier. What am I doing here? Tier 9. Tier 9 actually. I still think Mike was better than that, but he did really well in the knockout stages there. I still think he'll have to go some to beat Alan. Yeah. Rachel and Ross, do either of you? Oh, Rachel and Ross.
Rachel.
Hadn't even made the friends connection there. Sorry, guys. I'm sure you get stuff like that all the time. Do either of you know much about them?
Obviously, being a big cricket fan, John, I'm hoping that's the Ross Taylor that is New Zealand's all-time record run scorer.
Okay. Rachel played last time, actually. Sorry, Rachel. She was in tier 14 last time, but made the semi-finals. And Ross Taylor probably isn't that cricketer.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
It would be nice if it was.
Yeah, but I'm fairly sure it isn't.
Was he? I think Ross Taylor was an answer last season, right? It was a.
He was. So, you'd hope if that question come up, Ross Taylor would get that.
You'd hope.
Ross Taylor.
Yeah. Right. Okay, we'll go to number 69. So our seed here is number 172, which is Irish, I think, Karen Crofton. 263 is Samantha Walkden. 148 is Jeffrey Seguritan. 151 is quite a threat to my reign as the best ever Cypriot quizzer, because it's my younger sister, Jenny Bradley, who has likely entered this, is naturally a much better quizzer than I am, but obviously doesn't put the work in that I have at some point, I guess. She'll do well. Jeffrey, our Facebook friends, he posts notepads full of notes, so neatly compacted together, really interesting. Karen, she plays on Nerd Immunity in the Connections League, does really well for them. I don't know Samantha though, do either?
No, Samantha is a friend of mine. I met her recently at a quiz thing that I'm not legally allowed to talk about yet, but very enthusiastic about quizzes. Not done anything on this level yet, but I think it's right up her street. She's really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. She's a wonderful person, very enthusiastic, and I think she'll bring something great to this league.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how my sister does in this competition. I'd say she's got the potential to easily be the greatest Cypriot quizzer of all time, and I would gladly relinquish that title should it happen. But at the moment, I'm still happy being number 1 of 1. Now, at the moment, I'm 1 of 2, but I suspect I'll soon be 2 of 2. Anyway, game 70, please. We're closing in on the end now. Right, 173 is Keith Nicholas, who was the only player, I think, to get a full house last time out. 271, Sean Cairns. 225 is Nikhil Soneja, who's doing really well in the Connections League as well. And 236 is Paul Hughes, who I'm afraid I don't know.
So Nikhil messaged me actually to say that he's the one based in the United Arab Emirates, not Nitish. And they confused for each other a lot, apparently. So Nikhil is our player playing out of the United Arab Emirates, which isn't very snowy. Not much snow in Dubai. Keith is very good at the old pub quiz syllabus.
The Chiltern League?
Chiltern League. I think he's a qualified cricket umpire and hosts a rock music podcast, radio show. So there, his
good combo.
Cricket and rock music are his areas. Sean Cairns captained Glasgow on UC this year.
Plays in the OQL. I can't remember what team for that at the moment.
Plays for the same team as Rav Sharma, the Strangers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did very well, I think. Were they Division 6? He's
a good player, Sean. Is their 5 or 6. Paul, I don't know as much about.
No, I Paul's a new name for me as well, but as I say, we've said many times, you've got the whole of the competition to enjoy it and make a name for yourself. All right, game 71, just 7 more, if I've done my maths right, which it would be unusual if I had. Game 35, we start with Bob Deco, great quizzer. 205, McKinney Sizemore. Now, very good American quizzer. Very surprised to see not a seed, but that wasn't my job. 46, another American quizzer, that's Cheyenne Fletcher. And then 137 is Ian Taylor, yet another Taylor in this competition. Afraid one I don't know much about. McKinney, I know, runs the Gentleman Octopus quiz. It's a US based. It usually starts about 2 o'clock in the morning, so I've only played the once. Really nice guy, does really well with that. Very good at the lowbrow, and beat me once quite convincingly in MMA as well. Aidan, you know Bob well, don't you?
Yeah, Bob making tier 3 last time was one of the biggest shocks because I thought Bob would win the whole thing. I've billed a few people as being among the best music quizzes in the UK. I think Bob probably is the best. Bob has incredible range on that. He's good on sport. He's just good on a lot of areas. I think Bob will make tier 1 this time. I'd be surprised if he does.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know much about Ian Taylor. Cheyenne plays in the US League, but I don't know too much about him either.
Cheyenne was tier 4 in pop solos.
Oh gosh, okay, well, that's really good.
McKinney was tier 5. So
right, okay. Yeah, both
McKinney made it to the final of that one.
I think that they're probably it won't be good that they're in the same heat though, because anything US based is going to be split, whereas they'd much rather have the chance to take it all. But yeah, right, good game that one. Right, game 72. Okay, so the seed here is number 70, which is Mimir's Wales man, Dowd Jackson. 210 is Mike Devitt, who is one of the people I contribute with getting me really into quiz. He ran the quiz club at my school. 287 is Stuart Beard, who didn't run the quiz club at my school, but I'm not going to say that about everybody because it would be everybody else. 282 is Stephen Havard, who is part of the Strangers on the Train, which actually, that's a nice time to bring up. Very sad that we lost Ruth Ellis this year as a member of Stephen's team. Really nice woman. We're always really sad to lose any member of the OQL family. She was lovely. She'd been on Only Connect with really sorry, a really big loss to the team. We do hope they stay with her and keep quizzing in her memory. I think on her very last performance for the team, she scored half of their points. Wow. So if ever I see one player scoring more than 50% of their points, in my head, that's a Ruth Ellis. So if anybody wants to use that term, you are welcome to do so.
Not much more to Dowd's brilliant. He won the entertainment round of the Worlds this year. He'd be a contender for tier 1. He made the final of Highbrow Mimir. Just really, really good.
No gaps in that game.
No.
The man's superb.
Mike Devitt run the quiz club at John's school, which I think we've now said on these live draws about 340.
I know. Well, it was Mike Devitt and Brian Thompson together, but Mike plays for Disparate Origins now in they're going down to Division 3, aren't they? Oh no, they stayed up I think on the last day. Yeah, it was them who stayed up, so they'll still be Division 2, but Mike takes the team. And Stuart Beard has joined us fairly recently, I think. I see his name in the team
of knowledge, I think, or Donal.
Okay, I think I've seen his name for Team of the Week before, so that's going to be. I mean, it's very hard to bet against Dowd in any quiz. Did he play last time or not?
No, this is
Dowd.
Yeah, I think he'll be pushing for tier 1. His strength, his depth is fantastic. Yeah, and he runs the Great Mimir as well. So if you're looking for something a bit more all round, he's the person to go to for that. Right, number 73. So our seed here is number 308, which is the only player who won all 5 group matches last time, Will Swigart. 296 is Toby Cox. 78 is David Highland. And number 3 is Adriana Dent.
One of the groups of death. This is Swigart. If McPartland is the favourite, Will Swigart is probably number 2, I would say. He might be hurt by having a little less music because he's another music anorak.
Massive music.
He's excellent on sport, so a bit more sport's not going to hurt. Toby Cox, brilliant on the highbrow. He's not bad on the lowbrow at all. Davitt, Irish quizzer, very good. He did well in this last time, I think.
Yeah. He's out of Calderdale League, so he's Irish, but he's based in the UK.
And Adriana's one of Dara's new finds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Davitt ended up in tier 7, which is always a good, but then he didn't get past his semi-final. Through his group.
On the chat on Facebook, Will has pointed out that we're about 10 minutes from the length of the film Mr. Turner. And he probably just knew the length of the film Mr. Turner off the top of his head because he's that good. Also, I think Will is one of the best quiz writers out there. His friendlies that he's written that I've played are superb. So yeah, he's always one to watch.
Yeah. I'll be hoping he does well. He was unlucky to win all 5 of your matches and then get very unlucky in a semi-final. He lost to you, didn't he, Lewis?
I believe he did, but I think that was very, very narrow and just didn't fall his way. And is it did Toby recently win a heat of Brain of Britain?
Oh, I can't.
Isn't Toby Stewart? I think it might be Toby. I'll check. I think he maybe was the same episode that Michael McPartland was on.
Oh, right.
That might be wrong. But I certainly think of it as him as a good quizzer.
Right.
And yeah, played Davitt in the league and very, very good.
Yeah, tough heat. I'm looking forward to seeing how Adriana does after finding this through Dara. It's always great. All right, number 74. So just 4 games to go. If you're still with us, I am very, very impressed. So the seed here, 193. I'm guessing there's only 16 people left, and they're the ones who haven't been named yet. 193 is Martin Whiteman. 301 is Tony Monroe. 43 is Charlie Fritz, I think American-based. And 79 is David Bishop.
5 games to go. I will just add the 78 games here. Charlie Fritz is one we really struggle with because he plays for the Cats team with Dylan Meinerick and Colby Burnett, who won as well USA last year. But we just didn't know enough about Charlie, about whether his strengths are high or low, to seed him. But we suspect he may cause a lot of issues for some seeds here. Martin Whiteman is really, really good Team Northeast player. I think he's based out of the northeastern hub of Bristol.
Well, I was sat opposite him at Quiz in the North, and he got some great answers. I think he was the top 5. I was sat between him and Mark Kerr, and I was getting very depressed. They were getting all these great answers, and then I just didn't know them. But yeah, he did really well.
Yeah, Tony Monroe is the Monroe who's not in New Zealand, which is sort of the debate we have on every one of these draws. He plays for, I can't remember who he plays for. He does quite well in the league.
Yeah. And David Bishop plays in quite a few things as well. I think he's new to everything, but getting involved, which is great. So, right, so now we've got 4 games left. So there should be 16 people still watching, and they're the ones who haven't been called out yet. So we'll have the next seed anyway.
Comments are still coming. People love this. People are watching.
Oh, that's great. So 201 is Matthew Marcus, who always whenever he comes up, always comment on what a great supporter of the OQL he is. He's still hoping to try and get us a Wikipedia page. Hopefully that article by Shane on Defector will help on that. If you've not had a chance to read that, go to Defector. It's a brilliant article about online quiz league and just quizzing in general. Really worth a good read. 267, he won't hear this because he's not on Facebook, but that's Scott Vaughan, out of the Calderdale League. Number 20 is Andrew Story. And then 261 is Sam Hodkin, who I met when I did 15 to 1. He was on the I'd won my show, and he was on the shows after me. And I bumped into him in the breakfast queue. And then he went off to film more episodes, and I went home. That was probably the most interesting story we'll tell tonight.
Yeah, Matthew Marcus, he's just such a positive presence. Yeah, he will constantly bemoan his lack of pop culture knowledge, and then will answer loads of questions about pop culture really well. Scott Vaughan, obviously Scott won't see this because he's not on Facebook, but Scott has done well in these tournaments in the past. I think he made back tier 6 or 7 last time, didn't he?
I'll have a quick look. Yeah, he was at the Quiz in the North actually last week. I didn't get a chance to speak to him. Yeah, he was in tier 6. Matthew was tier 5. So there's not a lot between them really. I don't think there's much Andrew's story either.
Andrew hoping to do better than his son, I think. Sam's story.
Yeah. He won an episode of 15 to 1, and that's not easy. So there's going to be some ability there. It just depends on whether it flows highbrow or lowbrow.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. 3 games to go. Are you still in the pot? Are you still desperately waiting to see who you play? Well, 219, that is Nick Paul. 252 is Richard Kimber. 167 is Julia Clark. 178 is Christian Cavamso. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong again. Sorry for saying that so often. Yeah, I think Richard Kimber was one of the ones who was planning to watch the draw later. So I do hope he's managed to find the abridged version, or he's going to be sitting through 2 hours and 24 minutes waiting for his name.
I think Julia and Richard are both Oxford Brooks.
Oh, great. Okay,
I
read
for them this morning on the Quiz Bowl League. Both very good. I think probably definitely this morning Julia said she skews towards highbrow. Still should be interesting and great. I love it when teammates are up against each other in these individual competitions. So it's good to see.
Yeah, Nick did really well last time. Then he made the semi-finals of Tier 1.
Nick's one of the nicest people going. This heat has a high percentage of people that live near me because Nick's about 20 minutes away in Dustin and Julie is about 10 minutes away in Bicester. So this is my local heat.
Where's Christian from?
Christian's from Norway.
Okay.
Any comments on Norway, John?
No. I don't think I'm going to talk about Norway because we like having Norwegians in the league, and if I keep talking about Norway, we'll have none left. But I'm sure they're all lovely people. Right, 2 games to go then. Game 77. I'll tell you here, 302 is Tony Walmsley. 206 is Michael Baugh, B-A-U-G-H. I may have pronounced that wrong. I may have pronounced many names wrong today. 283 is Steve Lacey. And number 50 is Chris Curtis. So we've got 2 Curtis brothers in this competition.
Chris Curtis is a dangerous non-seed. I think Lewis played quite a bit at 50 at 6.
Yeah. Love their quizzes. Love the whole gang over there. Haven't played in a little while, sadly, because I'm busy, but love to be involved with them. I think Chris is the one that's really good at sport, right?
He's
rather
really
than Brendan,
good.
but like super
pretty good.
Chris is the one who's really top notch at it, so that should be good. Just love everything they do with their great community spirit in the 50 at 6 gang. Steve Lacey, obviously a good quizzer. This should be an interesting one.
Yeah, Walmsley's really, really good on music and film. That'll be good. And Michael Bowes, another one of the random acts of knowledge people. I think it was him who I did a Bockel game. Might have been Chris Powell on that team that did it from Kent Cricket Club's car park because they were working that day at Kent Cricket Club.
Right. Okay. Are we ready for game 78 of 78? So if somebody has been able to keep track of what 4 names are left, I would be amazed. I haven't. I don't even know who the missing seed is. So let's have a look at what we got. So the seed is number 61. That is Damien Evans from Strong Fauna. Then we've got number 85, which is David Watt, who I know plays with Bonnie Shampoo. I'm not sure what the team name is now offhand. 273 is Simon Dick, who we earlier established as captain of the Braveheart. And 119 is Jeff Palmer from the Eggman. No, not Eggman anymore. They're called Red Herrings. Thanks.
So, Damien plays for Strong Fauna. Brilliant team. Vincent Bright dominates for that team. Dave Watt, they play for the Jolly Mixtures.
Jolly Mixtures, exactly.
A few quizzes with Dave. He's a good lad. Really nice guy. Simon's captain of the Bravehearts. I think he had something to do with 15 to 1 back in the day. Was a question mark for producer or something on those lines. And Jeff Palmer plays with Joe Ashdown and Martin Webb on the team out of Brighton.
Good game. I mean, I'm expecting Damien's going to be favourite there. He was the seed, but I think he won't have it easy there at all. So it'll be a nice game as well. That one, all really good people, all very good supporters of OQL, which is what we love to see. And that concludes the draw for week 1 of season 2 of Pop Culture. 2 hours, 28 minutes. If that's what you had in the suite, well done. I thought we'd be finished sooner, but Lewis doesn't half talk, doesn't he?
Sorry, I got a lot to say.
I don't think it's your fault. A few thank yous. Obviously, couldn't do any of this without Will, his incredible tech, his running the draw for us, giving up 2.5 hours this Saturday night for it. Thanks to all our fantastic question writers who've been working really hard backstage. Many thanks to Aidan, who's doing all the editing for the quiz to make sure that the questions are all accurate and perfect. And thanks to all of you for, one, for entering the competition, because without you, there would be no competition, and two, for using your Saturday night to watch us slander Norway. But no, we love Norway, we do. I hope you've enjoyed it. We do really enjoy doing these. I don't know if there's anything else we need to add about the rules or how anything works. There's been we've been a few changes we went over earlier. Scheduling matches, you'll all get your emails very soon. They'll come from Quiz League, and you can just reply to them, and that's going to start that. If you reply directly to the email that you get, it will go to the other people, and the instructions will be in there on how to schedule it. Everybody should have had an email that I sent out about midnight last night, which gives loads of details about everything. I probably mansplained some stuff that you already know, but I wanted to make sure that everybody knew exactly what they were getting, what they had to do for each stage of the competition. Now, I think this is going to be amazing. The numbers are fantastic. Lockdown is ending. We really thought the numbers might even go down, but we've gone from 224 players to 312. So it's an incredible jump upwards in numbers, and it's fantastic to have you all here. And thanks to Lewis for joining us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I very much enjoyed it. And I can't wait to get started. When can we play our first game? Tomorrow?
Well, if you can get it scheduled for tonight, technically you can play tonight.
No,
but basically,
exciting.
You can't play. You cannot play tonight because at the minute I'm the only one with a set, and I'm going to bed after this.
Oh right, okay.
Tomorrow morning, whenever you wake up, that's when
you can play from about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. As a thing, if you want the set, if you are volunteering for reading, you can volunteer to read after you've played. We'll put that link in the group. If you do a scheduled game for Sunday, you may need an OQL person to read. If you are someone who wants to read and you need to get set, please get in touch with me, John, probably Rob Hanna, sort of the people you want.
And Will will have a set as well, I'm sure.
Will have a set, so sort of between us four. I'm putting the final polishing touches of commas and full stops and question marks in place, and then I'm gonna pass out because I've been awake since about 5 o'clock today.
But yeah, really looking forward to it. I'll try and read a few games. Lots going on at the moment with OQL, with the Connections League. Just a quick thing on season 5. We've got the Cup finals for OQL this week. They're on Wednesday. Will be streamed on the Twitch account, which is Online Quiz League. That'll start. The final will be streamed about 9:30 on Wednesday, and then we're going to open up registration for season 5 of OQL, which starts at the end of September. All team captains will be getting an email shortly with a few details about how to be involved with that. If you're not currently playing in the main league of OQL, look at the website and that'll tell you how you can get involved. You can either enter as an individual or as a full team. We'd love to have you on board. The more the merrier with OQL. We love having people involved. Any prediction on who's going to win? Lewis, go.
Me, baby, me.
Okay.
No, I think. It's tough, isn't it? I'm going McPartland.
Okay, Aidan.
Bobdico.
Okay, I'm going to go for Jenny Ryan this time. I think she was unlucky in her quarter-final. So, but we'll see. There's so many fantastic quizzes out there. I hope you all have a great time. And please try and beat my sister so I stay as the best Cypriot quizzer.
That's what it's all about. That's the real thing.
Okay, 2 hours 32. Lewis got 2 office quotes and I got none. But
I
win. Lewis wins that game. I wasn't trying, or I'm just not witty enough. Probably the latter. I was too busy saying nasty things about Norway, which is a place that when I did go there, I loved. So I should say anything. Right. Thank you, everybody. I think that's a good night from us. We'll be back again this time next week, probably be Sunday evening. That will invite Lewis. I don't know who's going to be with. Yeah, don't know who'll be with us.
Dave Bill may be back from his.
The return of the Bill.
Dave's in Ibiza for 2 weeks.
He's been in bed for an hour. So he's been a good boy today, or he is that slaughtered from his previous nights in Ibiza. So,
Yeah. Right, well, we'll see.
love you, Dave.
Yeah, someone will do the draw with us next week anyway. We'll announce it when we have it. Right, it's 10:30. It's Saturday night. I think we're all probably done in. So we'll let you go. Hope you've all enjoyed it. If you're still watching, big thumbs up to you. And we're going to read through the comments now. Any questions about anything to do with the league, just pop them in the group. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Good night.
Peace out. A-Town down.